Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Konoha, Homemade Eye Technique Plugin. Chapter 21. Itachi Uchiha, what are you doing? As the son of the clan leader and the young clan leader of Uchiha, you are actually killing your own clan. Are you worthy of the Uchiha clan that gave birth to you and raised you? As the fire dragon disappeared, Uchiha Minami, who had just arrived, was revealed. He opened the three Magatama Sharingan with an angry look on his face and asked loudly, exuding a terrifying aura. You are Uchiha Minami. How is that possible? Even Itachi Uchiha, who was known as a genius ninja, showed obvious surprise and asked with some uncertainty. Uchiha Minagawa had shown considerable talent early on and was known as a genius, so Uchiha Itachi naturally knew him. But as far as he knew, Uchiha Nanga was just an ordinary genius. Even if he grew up, he would only be an elite Junin, unless he had the opportunity to activate the Mangekyo Sharingan. But now, he saw with his own eyes that Uchiha Minga not only awakened the three Magatama Sharingan, but also the chakra aura on his body was so powerful. Therefore, Uchiha Itachi couldn't help but be surprised. You must know that Uchiha Minami is still in the ninja school. He is only 11 years old and his talent is so strong, not much weaker than him. But why is he so low-key and only showing his strength now? There may be other conspiracies in this. Thinking of this, Uchiha Itachi also burst out with murderous intent. Ignoring Uchiha Itachi's surprise, Uchiha Nanga locked his eyes firmly on him and asked again. In what way did they offend you, and you actually killed your own people? Answer me. There are actually helpless children and old people among them. What can they do to hinder you? There are also these civilians who don't even have chakra. You can do it. Who gave you the power to ignore life? That power. Although Uchiha Nanhi had already made preparations to avoid the appearance of victims, but now seeing the children and old people lying on the ground as well as civilians who had no ability to resist, Uchiha Nanhi was also furious. Seeing that Uchiha Itachi still didn't respond, still looking at him with an indifferent expression, and not even casting extra eyes on the clansmen he killed, Uchiha Nanga became even more angry, and no longer continued to make excuses. Is it the third Hokage? Or is it your ridiculous will of fire? Your will of fire taught you to kill civilians. Treat other people's lives as child's play. Or are you ungrateful? How did you get your strength in this life? How did you survive to be so big? You eat the food of the Uchiha family and work as a dog for Sarutobi Hiruzen and no one cares about you. But you step on the horse and turn around to bite the people who gave birth to you. You are worse than a pig or a dog. With a breath, Uchiha Nanhi felt even more angry. He wanted to open the hearts of Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Obito to see if they were evil enough to do such a crazy thing. Even if Neja hates Li Jing after committing a crime, he still knows how to cut bones and repay his father and cut his flesh to repay his mother. These two people completely take the favor they have received for granted, which is unacceptable. Seeing such a scene, the surrounding Uchiha people also started to condemn him. That's right, Uchiha Itachi, you madman, why don't you die? As the young clan leader, you enjoy all this with peace of mind. Is this how you treat the people who have trained you to this extent? Are you still a human being? And this masked man, doesn't your Sharingan belong to the Uchiha clan? Did you pop out of the stone? Without Uchiha, how would you be now? You are worse than a pig or a dog. Ah, Uchiha Itachi, you killed my son. He was only 3 years old. What was wrong with him? He didn't understand anything yet. How could you be so cruel? Do you have a conscience? Quote. Facing the condemnation from the surrounding tribesmen, Uchiha Itachi was also a little shaken, but soon his eyes hardened, his expression became firm, and he spat out cold words. I'm sorry, in order to prevent Uchiha from being known as a rebel, for the stability of Konoha, and for the peace of the ninja world, I have to do this. Please rest in peace. As soon as he finished speaking, Uchiha Itachi instantly appeared in front of Uchiha Nanhi, and the blade in his hand quickly wiped the Uchiha genius's neck. What's going on? Feeling the touch in his hand, and using the dynamic vision of the Mangekyo Sharingan, he immediately discovered that he had indeed hit the opponent's neck just now, but this feeling of no force at all told him that the attack just now was ineffective. While he was feeling startled and doubtful, Uchiha Itachi noticed from the corner of his eye that Uchiha Nanga's fist was very close at hand. That's too late. Uchiha Itachi only had time to make a seal in his hand. Boom! The next moment, the sound of flesh being hit hard reached everyone's ears, and Uchiha Itachi's body quickly hit the wall behind, but the next moment it exploded into crows all over the sky and flew away. Art fire escape ho fireball. Seeing this, Uchiha Minagawa knew that this was the crow substitute that Uchiha Itachi was good at. Next, these crows would form Uchiha Itachi again, so he directly sprayed out a huge fireball, covering all the crow figures. For a moment, no screams were made, and a large number of crows were burnt and their bodies were scattered all over the ground, but Uchiha Itachi was not found, just when Uchiha Minami was looking for traces of Uchiha Itachi. Boom! An explosion exploded where Uchiha Minagawa was standing, and a sheet of flames shot straight into the sky. Although Uchiha Minami didn't react, the virtualization was still on and he was not injured. Then he left the place in a flash and looked back. It was already an injured Uchiha Itachi. HMPH, Uchiha Itachi, you only have this little strength. You want to destroy the Uchiha clan, it's just a fantasy. Uchiha Nanga, who regained his footing, also sneered, and directly pointed out their purpose, hoping to disrupt Uchiha Itachi's state and create an opportunity to take action. But what left Uchiha Minagawa speechless was that Uchiha Itachi not only did not have any mood swings such as losing consciousness, but instead bowed and became more alert. I see, do you already know the purpose of our action? With such strength, coupled with the previous methods of avoiding attacks, although it is incredible, but putting aside all impossibility, you are the one pretending to be Uchiha Madara and creating things everywhere in Konoha Chaotic Masked Man. It's really unexpected that you, who usually don't show off your skills, have already activated the Mangekyo Sharingan. Even so, you still stay in the ninja school and have no intention of revealing your strength. It turns out that among the Uchiha clan, you are the one who hides the most. So you must have a big plan, and I will definitely put an end to your conspiracy here. Ever since he discovered that Uchiha Nanga had 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes and powerful chakra, Uchiha Itachi had doubts. Then he suddenly attacked and hit this ninja school student who had no actual combat experience for many years. However, the opponent used time and space ninjutsu to hide away, and the opponent revealed the purpose of their actions, which allowed Uchiha Itachi to confirm the opponent's identity. When Uchiha Itachi revealed his identity, Uchiha Nanga was not surprised at all. After all, he was prepared to be exposed before taking action. In today's Konoha, there is no one who can make him need to hide. Haha, conspiracy. Who is the unstable factor? Without you and Uchiha Shisui, the Uchiha clan would be in this situation now. Who caused all this? You don't have a clue. How dare you brazenly think that I have any conspiracy? Without you two so-called geniuses who spend all day trying to make your presence felt in front of Konoha's top brass, how could Konoha's top brass be so afraid of the Uchiha clan? At most, it's just a suppression. Why are you so aggressive in wanting to completely destroy the Uchiha clan? You just show off your strength in front of them. As a result, Konoha's top brass found that they can't control the Uchiha clan at all. In addition, the influence of the Nine Tails Rebellion has contributed to this situation that is out of control. How strong are Uchiha tribesmen who haven't activated the Mangekyo Sharingan? That kind of strength will make Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others jealous. What they are really afraid of is the Mangekyo Sharingan of you and Shisui. It is because of your genius that the Nine Tails Rebellion has passed for so many years, and the gap between Uchiha and Konoha has not eased at all. How can Uchiha be arrogant and arrogant? Who is not arrogant? If you are not arrogant, then have you heard the voices of Uchiha civilians? Have the top management of Konoha heard the voices of those conservatives? Haha, in the final analysis, it's just you two Mangekyo Sharingan that made them feel out of control and threatened, so they were so afraid that they wanted to destroy all the Uchiha clan. How dare you think it's Uchiha's fault and say I have ulterior motives? I'm afraid in the eyes of Konoha senior officials, you and Shisui are the ones with ulterior motives. Otherwise, how could Uchiha Shisui be ambushed and killed by Danzo Shimura? What's even more ridiculous is that you actually cooperated with the culprit who killed the 4th Hokage and his wife and caused the Nine Tails Rebellion. Haha, it's really ironic. After all, even if the other party is Uchiha Madara, he doesn't belong to Konoha, and he won't do anything to him. The power of Konoha's top brass poses no threat at all. I don't believe they didn't realize that this masked man was the one who released the Kyuubi and killed the Yondaime couple. After all, he has such obvious time and space pupil skills, and he calls himself Uchiha Madara. If he can channel the Kyuubi and attack the village, it's nothing. Something unexpected. But Uchiha may succeed in the coup. They are the founding family of the village and can completely threaten their status. Haha, otherwise, in 7 years, no matter how big the gap is, it should have been eased. It is impossible that it will become worse. The bigger. So, it's not other people who are causing the village and Uchiha to become more and more alienated. The culprit is you. It's you and Shisui who don't know how to restrain themselves because of their self-righteousness, which caused Uchiha to go on the road of rebellion and genocide. The irony is that you, the chief culprit, come to accuse Uchiha and act as a knife in the hands of others to slaughter your own people. You are stupid and can't even sum up your behavior. You have a brain like a pig or a dog. Faced with Uchiha Itachi's malicious speculation, Uchiha Minami also exploded completely, listing out his grievances against Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi in detail. At this time, Uchiha Itachi was very panicked. Although he wanted to refute Uchiha Nenga's remarks, after last night's undisguised malice towards Uchiha from Shimura Danzo in the Hokage's office, Uchiha Itachi had to think deeply about Uchiha's decision. The real reason for reaching this point. Before Uchiha Nenga pointed out this reason, Uchiha Itachi always believed that the Uchiha people were too attached to one clan, only seeing the trees but not the forest, only seeing the injustice they suffered but never considering the village. Difficulties. Arrogant, arrogant, and arrogant. These are the labels Uchiha Itachi once put on the Uchiha tribe. But now it seems that he has never understood other tribesmen. Only some Uchihas are truly arrogant and arrogant. More Uchihas are just victims, and the reason why Uchiha has reached this point is because of his and Shisui's arrogance and arrogance. It turns out that the top management of Konoha was never really afraid of the ordinary Uchiha people. What they were really afraid of was themselves and Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan. What really made the gap between the villages wider and wider was the endless emergence of Mangekyo Sharingan. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi was extremely regretful. He regretted his naivety and ignorance. In vain, he still suspected that Uchiha Nenga had some conspiracy behind opening the Mangekyo Sharingan and choosing to hide it. It turned out that he was the stupidest one. For a moment, Uchiha Itachi fell into deep self-doubt. Uchiha Obito, who had seen everything in his eyes, was now a little angry. Originally he was just watching the show, preparing to pull the young man in front of him into his camp if his strength was acceptable, but he didn't want to watch the show and saw the boy above him, and his eyes opened. The genius boy with the Mangekyo Sharingan turned out to be the enemy he had been looking for to pretend to be plotting against him. Haha, Uchiha Nenga, right. I didn't expect that there would be a being like you in Uchiha. You are obviously very powerful, but for the sake of the overall situation, you are willing to accompany the brats from the ninja school to play ninja games until the crisis of genocide in Uchiha comes again. It can't be reversed, you just exposed it. I have to admire your magnanimity. However, with such a powerful talent, why don't you continue to protect yourself wisely? If you insist on getting involved in my plan, and you dare to pretend to scheme against me, in this case, your life will end here. For Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Nenga knows that he exists and has the kaleidoscope of time and space. Baizetsu's disappearance may also have something to do with him, and it is obvious that he cannot use it for himself. This will inevitably affect his. The level of fear is even higher than Uchiha Itachi. In addition, at such a young age, he opened the Mangekyo Sharingan and stole Hashirama's cells. His talent and planning were so powerful, and he became even more determined to kill the opponent. HMPH, you silly, pretentious person. I didn't mention you, so you just babbled, right? Judging from the way you hide your head and show your tail, you are afraid that someone will recognize you or you are too ugly to see people. That's right, anyone who knows you is considered to have been unlucky for 8 lifetimes. Having an ungrateful guy like you as a friend and relative makes me feel ashamed. I want to clean up the family immediately and get rid of all relations with you. Fortunately, you are wearing a mask. Not to mention your relatives and friends, those who have nothing to do with you but have been liked by you will probably have trouble sleeping and eating. After all, no one can accept a fool like you. Everyone get it and kill it. Although it is not as good as Uzumaki Naruto's Batenzu, which can make people abandon evil and do good, Uchiha Minami, who has been baptized in his previous life, is not afraid at all when it comes to angering and swearing at others. Knowing Uchiha Obito's past, Uchiha Nanga can be said to be heart-piercing every word, and he specializes in inserting a knife into Uchiha Obito's heart. Uchiha Obito was originally a lunatic who had his worldview shattered. As Uchiha Nanga opened his mouth, his expression under the mask became extremely distorted, and his whole body trembled violently. Unlike Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Itachi still has a younger brother and Konoha in his heart. He has not killed his parents yet, has not completely fallen into darkness, and has not caused any harm to Uchiha Nanhi. Uchiha Nanhi is reluctant to let go. Such a powerful tool man, so Uchiha Nanhi can give him a chance to make amends. But Uchiha Obito is different. In Uchiha Obito's heart, he may not care about Konoha and his tribe, nor his relatives and teachers, but the only thing he cares about is the white moonlight in his heart. Therefore, Uchiha Nanhi ruthlessly tore apart his disguise, making his dirty soul unable to see his goddess again, and making him farther and farther away from the white moonlight in his heart. Go to hell. Uchiha Obito was so angry that he opened the Mangekyo Sharingan regardless and killed Uchiha Nanga. At this time, Uchiha Obito had lost his calmness. He only had the idea of killing Uchiha Nanga immediately. As long as he killed him, he could cover up the filth on his body and put the girl in his heart again. Seeing that Uchiha Obito was also broken by him and rushed towards him regardless of hesitation, Uchiha Nanga breathed a sigh of relief in his heart, fearing that the more vigilant situation like Uchiha Itachi before would happen again. It seems that the poisonous mouth ninjutsu is more suitable for me. A smile of successful conspiracy flashed across Uchiha Nanhei's lips. The furious Uchiha Obito shouted angrily, and with the determination to kill, he raised the kunai in his hand and stabbed Uchiha Minagawa's head fiercely. Uchiha Minagawa seemed to have no reaction at all, standing motionless on the spot, but he was secretly accumulating power in his hands, and the Mangekyo Sharingan in his eyes was spinning rapidly, watching Uchiha Obito getting closer and closer. The closer figure. Seeing that Uchiha Obito was about to succeed, at this moment, smiles appeared in the eyes of both parties. The next moment, the shuriken finally made contact with the head, and then it penetrated through without any hindrance, and then stabbed out from the other side. Oops! As Uchiha Obito exclaimed, before he could react too much, Uchiha Nanga punched Uchiha Obito hard to the ground with a punch that was already prepared. At the same time, the other hand also inserted it. From the hole in the mask, he took off his Mangekyo Sharingan. In an instant, the sound of broken bones was heard, and blood flowed out of the mask freely. It can be said that he lost everything with one careless move. With his eyes being dug out from the sockets and the pain of falling to the ground with broken bones, Uchiha Obito finally recovered from his previous rage. Until now, he could when the sound rang out, the person in front of me could perfectly disguise his existence. If he rushed over so recklessly, he would undoubtedly fall into a trap. But it was too late to wake up now. Even if he was determined, facing the situation where the Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan was gouged out, his bones were broken in many places, and his internal organs were damaged, Uchiha Obito had no chance of making a comeback, like as if his soul had been taken away, he felt exhausted instantly. The battle ended so quickly, and the confused Uchiha Itachi did not react. Looking at the usually unpredictable Uchiha Madara, he was lying on the ground like a dead dog. Uchiha Itachi immediately turned those confused the thoughts were thrown away and he instinctively supported the past. Uchiha Minagawa was not surprised at all that Uchiha Itachi would continue to take action. Despite the fact that Uchiha Itachi hated Uchiha's arrogance and arrogance on the surface, in fact, he himself was the most arrogant and arrogant person. Even if you realize your mistakes, you will not give up easily. Sometimes self-deception is also a way of spiritual victory, especially those who think highly of themselves. The more they are about to fail, the crazier they become. The current Uchiha Itachi is in this way. Using the teleportation technique, Uchiha Itachi instantly got close to Uchiha Minga. While slashing at Uchiha Minga with his sword, his other hand snatched away the Mangekyo Sharingan in his hand. However, Uchiha Nanga had already taken precautions, and his whole body was weakened. Uchiha Itachi's intentions were all in vain, but he was not discouraged, as if he had already guessed Uchiha Nanga's response method. The hand that snatched the Sharingan moved downwards, and pulled Uchiha Obito immediately retreated at the same time. Amaterasu. A group of black flames burned next to Uchiha Nanhi, which prevented Uchiha Nanhi from immediately breaking away from the void and pursuing them. His strategic purpose was achieved. After all, facing Uchiha Nanga's troublesome virtualization ability, Uchiha Itachi had no good way to deal with it. He had to save the masked man. As long as the masked man didn't be careless again, he could use similar pupil techniques to deal with the opponent. Is this the legendary immortal flame, Amaterasu? The strongest physical attack, haha. With Uchiha Nanhei's sarcastic laughter, the Amaterasu flame also disappeared. Naturally, Uchiha Nanhi used the pupil technique to turn it into reality. How is this possible? Even though he already had a high regard for Uchiha Minami, he didn't expect that he could even extinguish Amaterasu, which was said to be eternal, while joking about it. This was a big blow to Uchiha Itachi, who thought he was superior. Am I right? Is it a pair of fake Mangekyo Sharingan? Seeing Uchiha Itachi's look of disbelief, Uchiha Nanga was also in a good mood and couldn't help but taunt him. Haha, those of you who can only use the Mangekyo Sharingan mechanically will not understand the true potential of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Do you feel the gap now? Just let it go and don't waste time. Hearing Uchiha Nanhei's words of persuasion to surrender, Uchiha Itachi relaxed a little, guessing that the other party was trying to save his power. Yes, Uchiha Nanhi has no direct relatives, so his Mangekyo Sharingan will always go blind, and Sasuke will eventually become Uchiha's last hope, so everything I do is meaningful, right? This consumes more of the opponent's eye power and clears obstacles for Sasuke in the future. Uchiha Itachi thought in his mind and made up his mind. As long as he consumes enough of the opponent's eye power, the Anbu on the periphery can launch an attack and eliminate the opponent together with the Uchiha clan. There will be a clean Uchiha Sasuke left. When he grows up and then kills his rebellious ninja, the Uchiha clan will be revitalized again with Sasuke. Uchiha Minami felt a powerful eye force, trying to pull his spirit into an unknown space. Uchiha Minami knew that this was Uchiha Itachi's Tsukuyomi Eye technique, which is known as the most powerful attack illusion. This is also what Uchiha Minagawa did intentionally. Otherwise, he would not be affected by illusions when he has been transformed into a dream dimension. This is also to test his resistance to illusions. After all, Uchiha Minami is also afraid that one day he will suddenly see an alien. The god's Mangekyo Sharingan can become someone else's puppet without knowing it. Nowadays, there happens to be an illusion-type Mangekyo Sharingan, and he can try out the illusion showdown between the Mangekyo Sharingan. He believes that other gods are not as invincible as described. For example, Uchiha Madara, who has the Samsara Eye, will definitely not be able to control it, so Uchiha Nanhi must test the mechanism of the kaleidoscope illusion to ensure the future battle plan against other gods. Regarding this, Uchiha Nanhi also had some speculations. This kind of illusion showdown between kaleidoscopes is more of a competition between pupil powers. The reason Tsukuyomi is so incomprehensible is because he stretched 1 second to 70 for 2 hours, the outside world couldn't react much at all, so it was naturally easy to get tricked. As for the power of other gods, judging from the fact that it takes 10 years to cool down, it is probably because this pupil technique explodes the accumulated pupil power in a very short period of time, making it impossible for the opponent to mobilize enough power in such a short period of time. The powerful spiritual power to respond has created the reputation of the most powerful illusion among other gods. Therefore, when Uchiha Itachi used the Tsukuyomi illusion, Uchiha Minagawa used his pupil power to resist. Sure enough, there was no feeling of being pulled into the Tsukuyomi space at all, but his pupil power was somewhat consumed, which was consumed in the immortal body. With the recovery ability, he recovered in one breath. As expected, the illusion of the Mangekyo Sharingan is basically the use of pupil power, and the mechanism of the genjutsu requires that the pupil power be put into the opponent's brain to be effective. This makes the use of pupil power to fight against this illusion like magic becomes possible. From this point of view, Tsukuyomi pulls the enemy into a mental fantasy space. In the mental space, just like what was described in the movie Inception, in the previous life, people's mental thinking speed will be much higher than in reality. This also results in the phenomenon that a moment passes in the spiritual world but a long time passes outside. In this way, Uchiha Itachi's eye technique Tsukuyomi is essentially just the ability to pull other people's consciousness into a mental space that is completely controlled by oneself. And that 1 second is equal to the limit of 72 hours. I'm afraid it is the ultimate reaction speed of spiritual thinking after being separated from the body in the Tsukuyomi space. After understanding the essence of Tsukuyomi, Uchiha Nanga was in a good mood, and he also thought of the operating mechanism of other gods. The mechanism of action of the other gods may be similar to the method used by the protagonists in Inception to implant memories. However, the other gods use the powerful pupil power of the Mangekyo Sharingan to enter the deep spiritual world of the opponent, thus implant new memories deep in the opponent's subconscious to achieve the art of tampering with cognition. This thought gave Uchiha Minagawa a new understanding of illusions and opened up another world of illusions for him. General illusions achieve the purpose of confusing the other person's 5 senses or manipulating the other person's emotions from the physical perception, making the person who is being cast not able to distinguish between true and false, and fall into an illusion. The illusion of the Mangekyo Sharingan is more like a direct attack on the enemy's spiritual consciousness, which causes the person being cast to either suffer severe mental damage or have their cognition directly changed. Being able to directly touch the enemy's spiritual consciousness is probably the real reason why the Sharingan illusion is far stronger than other illusions. Maybe I can also directly develop the use of Tsukuyomi and other gods in the future. The real difficulty should be it's about how to affect the other person's spiritual consciousness. It's a long story, but these thoughts were deduced in Uchiha Nanhei's mind in an instant, and it was just a moment outside. Itachi Uchiha felt like he was shaking a mountain at this time. No matter how crazy he activated the Mangekyo Sharingan, he could not shake the other party's spiritual consciousness at all, let alone pull the other party's spiritual consciousness into the Tsukuyomi space. Seeing that his Tsukuyomi had completely lost its effect, Uchiha Itachi didn't hesitate too much. His eyes immediately turned quickly, and then a huge half-length skeleton appeared, wrapping him and Uchiha Obito. Seeing his last trump card, Uchiha Itachi also regained his confidence. However, considering Uchiha Nanga's weirdness, Uchiha Itachi increased the output of his pupil power. As the pupil power passed rapidly, Shikara went crazy. The surging, then raging chakra turned into the skeleton's meridians and flesh. Immediately, the skeleton turned into a half-length giant holding a gourd in one hand and a shield in the other, with red flames emanating from his body. As Susanoo, and it's Susanoo who holds the Juken sword and the Yata mirror. Faced with such a turtle shell that can attack and defend, it's a bit tricky before your pupil power is exhausted, but how long can your pupil power last? Hearing Uchiha Nanga's taunt, Uchiha Itachi, who had calmed down, was not moved at all. Now it seemed that he could not kill the opponent with his own strength. He could only wait for the masked man to recover before getting rid of him. However, this mission was not originally about killing the opponent. It was the original meaning of this mission to put an end to the glory of the Uchiha clan. Thinking of this, Uchiha Itachi didn't hesitate and immediately turned around to kill other places where Uchiha was stationed. Seeing Uchiha Itachi's actions, Uchiha Nanga also realized that the other party did not need to fight with him at all. They were originally here to destroy the Uchiha clan. It seems that we must first find a way to delay or directly break the opponent's Susanoo. Unfortunately, the time is too short, and we have not yet developed a powerful ninjutsu that can break the turtle shell. Turn reality into virtuality. It is completely impossible to have a large size, and the opponent may continue to condense a new one, which will make it even more numb. To delay, you must limit the opponent's range of action. After all, this is the land of the Uchiha clan. Those who move too much will damage it. It seems that we can only try Gaara to deal with Uchiha during the Fourth Ninja War. Haobara's solution. I hope Uchiha Itachi didn't take precautions in this regard. Not daring to delay, Uchiha Nanhei quietly separated into a wooden clone, and then turned his Mangekyo Sharingan, and similarly, the substance-like chakra quickly condensed outside his body. Susanoo. Following Uchiha Nanhei's soft drink, a half-length giant covered in pitch black, wearing ancient Chinese fish-scale armor, a face-covered helmet, and holding a spear also appeared. Feeling the arm-like control over Susanoo's half-giant, Uchiha Minami directly raised his spear at the red half-giant in front of him and slashed it down. Feeling the violent chakra fluctuations behind him, Uchiha Itachi immediately became alert. He turned around and saw the process of Uchiha Minami directly condensing Susanoo. Although he was very surprised that Uchiha Minga could condense Susanoo so easily, but Uchiha Itachi was not one to sit still and wait for death. He immediately raised his shield to block the opponent's powerful and heavy attack. Then the gourd on his right hand spit out a flaming sword light and slashed towards Uchiha Minami's Susanoo. Uchiha Minami didn't shy away. He turned his Mangekyo Sharingan and saw the 10 punches clearly. The attack trajectory of the sword, the gun body shook, and the tip of the gun hit the edge of the 10-fist sword. Boom! A thunderous sound erupted between the two giants. The two of them took a step back, and then they went back and forth. For a while, the two half-length giants were entangled again. Uchiha Minagawa knew that he could fight back and forth with the Uchiha Itachi in front of him. He relied on the powerful dynamic vision of the Mangekyo Sharingan to capture the opponent's attack trajectory and defend himself. However, Uchiha Minagawa knew that if he defended for a long time, he would lose. Still no. Moreover, in this kind of battle between huge bodies, Uchiha Nanga is inside Susanoo and cannot use the Sharingan to see the whole picture. Once Uchiha Itachi seizes this and launches an attack from the blind corner of the Sharingan, it's dangerous. Uchiha Nanga, who knew this well, was also a little impatient. Moreover, if the battle continued like this, not to mention that many nearby buildings would be destroyed, and the clone would not be able to find any chance to take action. We can't continue like this. For now, we can only try the rogue style of play. The combat experience is not as good as that of Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Nanga also thought of a countermeasure. Since I am not as good as you in combat experience, then I will give up the combat experience. Not only do I not want it myself, I can also let you give up the combat experience. That is the mixed style of play, also known as the ground style of play. When there was another collision, Uchiha Nanga saw the right opportunity and directly guided Uchiha Itachi's blade to the side. At the same time, he gave up the spear and immediately rushed forward into the arms of the opponent's giant, and opened his Susanoo's hands. Open, tightly hug the opponent's arms, and then use force on the waist. As a result, a funny scene appeared on the field. I saw two half-length giants, one red and one black, with their chests close to each other and their foreheads fighting each other. The black giant's hands tightly hugged the red giant. The red giant's hand holding the shield was blocked by the shield and could no longer use it. He could only hold the sword. The wrist can be twisted slightly, but the space for movement is really limited, and it is impossible to reach other parts of the black giant. The red giant had no choice but to use all his strength to push the black giant's arms open. He also pushed his head forward with all his strength, trying to push the black giant to the ground. At this time, Uchiha Itachi was a little dumbfounded. He actually had such a rogue style of play. Seeing that he had discovered the weakness of the opponent's lack of combat experience, he had to seize the opportunity to win and hit the opponent hard. He didn't expect that the opponent would do something like this. Even though he has rich combat experience, he can't think of any good way to deal with it for a while. Now the only way to get rid of the opponent is to disperse one's own Susanoo. However, once the Susanoo is dispersed, oneself cannot defeat the opponent. If it is condensed again, one's own consumption will be greater than the opponent's, and the gain will not be worth the loss, and it will be very difficult. You may fall into the current embarrassing situation again. If Susanoo is not eliminated, it is indeed a more promising method to compete with the opponent for consumption. The opponent needs to limit his actions, which will inevitably consume more power. In the end, it will be the opponent who cannot hold on. Moreover, as long as the opponent consumes too much and waits until the peripheral Anbu attack, he will not be able to escape. Then he will have no choice but to destroy the Uchiha clan together, and then he will have fulfilled his agreement with Shimura Danzo. Having made up his mind, Uchiha Itachi also silently fought with his opponent to consume him. But at this moment, Uchiha Nanga's clone also seized this huge gap in the struggle between the two sides. Earth Release Heart Beheading Technique. When Uchiha Itachi was concentrating on consuming Uchiha Minami's power, suddenly, a pair of small hands stretched out from under his feet and instantly pulled him into the earth. His whole body was restricted by the solid earth, leaving only his head outside. Then, the Susanoo that belonged to him was unable to maintain its power and dissipated in the air. At the moment when the red half-length giant disappeared, Uchiha Nenga hugged him empty due to inertia. At the same time, the black half-length giant stumbled forward uncontrollably and almost fell down. Uchiha Nenga was not surprised but overjoyed. He immediately knew that his clone had succeeded. He hurriedly released Susanoo and headed towards the restrained Uchiha Itachi. When Uchiha Minami came to the place of the clone, he saw Uchiha Itachi tied to the ground by the 5 flowers. The chakra fluctuations on his body were almost non-existent. Uchiha Minami was also relieved, knowing that the clone must have cast the seal. The technique sealed Uchiha Itachi's chakra. After releasing the clone, Uchiha Nanhi also knew how the clone had captured Uchiha Itachi just now. What a dramatic scene. The Uchiha genius who has opened the Mangekyo Sharingan will fail at a mere C-level ninjutsu. It is indeed a characteristic of the ninja world. Although I had known that the so-called ninja is a profession with high attack and low defense. No matter how powerful the ninja is, as long as its own weakness is exposed, Itachi may be targeted and killed. However, seeing such a powerful Uchiha Itachi, many netizens praised him as the existence of the Itachi god was defeated because of AC-level ninjutsu, which still makes me feel a bit sad. Thinking that this kind of thing might happen to him, and he still couldn't find a corresponding way to deal with it, Uchiha Nenga felt a little uncomfortable. After all, in the ninja world, except for the complete Susanoo and thunder armor, which can withstand a little bit of damage, other defenses rely on self-dodge. Even the complete Susanoo and thunder armor cannot be turned on at all times. When the lion is still taking a nap, blur is not a passive skill. The tactics of the ninja world like to catch people's weaknesses and attack them. Even if they are as powerful as Kagaya Otsutsuki, they will be sealed due to a momentary loss of concentration. This has to be lamented that ninjas are really not a profession that pursues balance. Uchiha Nenga had no choice but to alert himself and take this as a warning. Before these problems were solved, he could only stay vigilant at all times and resolutely not to stand out. The long-term way to survive was to survive. Facing Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Nenga's heart was still relatively complicated. The Hokage in his previous life could be said to have been with him throughout his youth. Everyone had mixed reviews for this character, with some admirers and others despising him. In Uchiha Nenga's view, Uchiha Itachi lacks the most basic ethics and morals. This is also caused by the abnormal education in the ninja world. He was sent to the battlefield at the age of 4 to see the bloodiest side. Even a normal person's psychology will become abnormal. And then neither his father Uchiha Fugaku nor his friend Uchiha Shisui only explained their own ideas and did not instill basic values in him. He joined the Anbu of the 3rd Hokage when he was young. Of course, his thoughts were completely shaped by Hiruzen Sarutobi. What he usually thinks about is the meaning of life. This allowed the will of fire to find an opportunity, and dedication became his life creed. Bitter people love sweets the most, which takes this irony to its pinnacle. After experiencing the night of genocide, perhaps as Nagato said, pain will make people grow. Perhaps it was in the pain of destroying his relatives with his own hands that Uchiha Itachi saw clearly the face of Konoha, and then he never did it again. The act of passing information from the Akatsuki organization to Konoha. Although he didn't want to see Konoha's high-level officials, his love for Konoha was clearly reflected later. First, he asked the Akatsuki organization not to take action against Konoha while he was alive. Before his death, he handed over other gods to Uzumaki Naruto, using in order to save Uchiha Sasuke. He was reincarnated in the dirt after death, and still insisted that he was Uchiha Itachi of Konoha. Before the genocide, he lived in confusion, and after the genocide, he lived in regret. All the mistakes started from mistrusting the Konoha high-level officials to annihilate his own relatives. But now Uchiha Itachi only killed a few peripheral tribesmen before he was stopped by Uchiha Nenga. Those tragedies had not completely happened yet. Uchiha Nenga felt that the other party could still save them. As for those tribesmen who were killed, Uchiha Nanhi couldn't control that much and could only let him spend the rest of his life to atone for his sins. For Uchiha Nenga, who wants to change the ninja world, the Uchiha clan is his basic base. If he wants to maintain this basic base and does not want to be the first, then he needs Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi came to help him. But Uchiha Fugaku, the clan leader, is a weird one. Others are all daughter controllers, but he is a son controller. By the end of the original book, Uchiha Itachi, together with Konoha and Uchiha Obito, have already taken action against the Uchiha clan. Instead of resisting, the patriarch supported his elder son and led him to be killed. Therefore, whether it is the slightly prestigious clan leader who needs to be in front, or the rare combat power of Uchiha Itachi to help, or the training of Uchiha Sasuke as the savior of insurance, keeping Uchiha Itachi is in line with Uchiha Nanhei's own interests. Forget it, let's persuade him first. If that doesn't work, just imprison him first. After we find out how the Mangekyo Sharingan affects spiritual consciousness, we can just give him a different god. With this thought in his mind, he squatted down and looked directly at the embarrassed Uchiha Itachi in front of him. You won, but under your stop, both Uchiha and Konoha will become losers. You don't know the meaning of Konoha's existence at all. Your resistance will only make Konoha weak, and Uchiha will be stigmatized. Perish. Although Uchiha Itachi is now unable to move, he is still trying to persuade Uchiha Nanga to give up resistance for the sake of peace in Konoha. Reading is to be able to reason with others calmly, and fisting is to make others listen to your reasoning calmly. If Uchiha Nanga had not defeated Uchiha Itachi here, the other party would not have been able to say this to him so earnestly, and would only killing you from above has nothing to do with you. Hearing Uchiha Itachi's absurd reasoning, Uchiha Nanga also laughed angrily. We won't mention what we said before about why Konoha and Uchiha have reached this point. Let's just say that in this irreconcilable situation, why should Uchiha give in? Why can't Konoha give in? We Uchiha are the founding family of Konoha, and we will never watch Konoha's demise. We only need to kill the top leaders of Konoha, and we won't do anything to other ninjas. On the contrary, the top management of Konoha wants to drive out all of us Uchiha clan, including the elderly and children. Tell me, who is best to give in? The fact now is that we, the Uchiha clan, already know the plan of Konoha's top leaders. We will not sit still and wait for death. A fight between the two sides will increase the casualties, make Konoha weak, and give other ninja villages an opportunity to take advantage of. But have you ever thought that they can surprise our Uchiha clan and reduce Konoha's battle losses? We can also raid Konoha's high-level officials and reduce Konoha's battle losses. How about it? Anyway, what you want is peace. Now that Uchiha is on guard again, their plan will not work. Instead, look at our Uchiha side, plus you and your father. We Uchiha will have 3 pairs of kaleidoscopes to write Rinnegan. As long as you raid the Hokage building, you can instantly kill Sarutobi Hiruzen and the other 4 high-level officials. The result of killing one clan is the same as killing 4, so why do you have to go through a thankless job? On the contrary, we can easily kill the 4 high-level officials of Konoha without involving more innocent people. Compared with Uchiha, the 4 of them are so old that they have no fighting ability, and they have merit but no merit. Kill them, they are only good for Konoha and not bad. What do you think? Uchiha Itachi was shocked. How could anyone persuade him to surrender like this? This is not just persuading people to surrender, this is directly persuading people to rebel. Ah, wait, you said my father also has the Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Itachi suddenly realized that Uchiha Nanga's shocking words just now revealed an unusual message. Yeah, you think everyone is like you and Shisui, showing off your strength when you have it. Your father is the leader of the clan. As early as the Third Ninja War, we who are good at fire escape were sent to deal with the Kurigakure battlefield who restrained us. I discovered the hostility and defensiveness of Konoha's high-level officials towards Uchiha, so even though he had awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan back then, he had never appeared in front of the clan. He is not as incompetent as you see. The reason why today's clan members are suppressed like this is that your father, the clan leader, still has a high prestige among the clansmen by leading the clansmen in the difficult environment of the Third World War. Defeated Kurigakure, earned it bit by bit. So, in the same way, he has the Mangekyo Sharingan but chooses to hide it, not because of another conspiracy as you think, but because of the overall situation. He does not want Uchiha to conflict with Konoha, but your father's kindness, all their intentions were disrupted by you and Shisui, which is why Uchiha and Konoha have reached this point. How is it possible? It is impossible for Hokage-sama to persecute his companions in the village. The will of fire is to protect the village and protect fellow. Uchiha Itachi ignored Uchiha Nenga's teasing about hiding the Mangekyo Sharingan, but he couldn't believe it when he heard that Uchiha had been persecuted as early as the Third Ninja War. His first thought was to refute. But just in the middle of the rebuttal, I remembered the records in the book. This kind of thing cannot be deceived at all. The facts can be found everywhere in the ninja world. During the Third War, the Kurigakure ninja who was good at the Kurigakure jutsu and water escape, it is the responsibility of the Uchiha clan who are restrained by water and have no strong perception ability. This completely overturned Uchiha Itachi's three views. Before today, he had always believed that it was the fault of his clan members that led to the discord with the village. Previously, he thought that it was his fault and Shisui's fault that led to the fear of the village. Only now did he discover that the village had been at odds since the Nine Tails. During the Third Ninja War before the chaos, he wanted Uchiha to die. Although he didn't want to admit defeat, Uchiha Itachi couldn't argue with the fact that since you were born in Uchiha, you were guilty. But you said that the third Hokage and the others have no strength and have no achievements in Konoha. This is completely slander. Konoha won the 3 wars in the ninja world, which is enough to reflect their strength and achievements. Seeing Uchiha Itachi, who was still tough-talking, Uchiha Nenga no longer held back and was ready to completely expose the hypocrisy of Konoha's top brass and completely shatter his outlook. Strength. What strength can they have? How much strength can they have at such an old age? You read it in the book of the ninja school, right? The strongest Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, is really ridiculous. Have you ever seen him take action? Have you ever been to the Valley of the End? The terrain there was created by the battle between Uchiha Madara and the first Hokage. Do you think he can do it? Don't be stupid and just believe what other people say. There are books about him taking action. Case. Is it a completely empty statement about the strongest Hokage? If there are real examples, how could it not be recorded? Just like the 2 statues in the Valley of the End. As for the other 3 advisors, even the strength of the Hokage has been blown out, let alone being suppressed. They are just a group of politicians playing tricks. Their strength depends entirely on stupid and loyal tools like you. If you were really strong, you wouldn't be afraid of the Uchiha clan, and there wouldn't be so many tragedies in Konoha. After Uchiha Nenga's remarks, Uchiha Itachi also realized something. If you don't have strength, you need to praise it. If you have strength, you are not afraid of questioning at all. As the Hokage of the village, your strength does not need to be hidden, but should be displayed openly, while increasing one's own prestige and increasing the confidence of the villagers. On the other hand, the third Hokage's strength was all written in books or heard from others. No one had ever seen it, and he had no intention of showing it off. Thinking about this, Uchiha Itachi couldn't help but feel how powerful the third Hokage was. His image was somewhat shaken. Uchiha Nenga ignored Uchiha Itachi, who was a little doubtful about life, and continued. In addition, you said that the third Hokage and the senior officials led Konoha to win the 3 ninja wars. You know this from the history textbook of the ninja school. Uchiha Nenga said with great certainty, while Uchiha Itachi looked confused. What happened to the ninja school's history textbook? Isn't that real history? It is completely impossible to tamper with such an important event as the Ninja World War. Uchiha Nanhi just smiled at Uchiha with a hint of meaning and continued. Yes, you can't change the incident, but you can change the person who performed the task. For this kind of thing, you can just say, it was the Hokage's order. All the credit will naturally go to the Hokage. As for who is the person who performed the task, do history books care about this? Uchiha Nanhi was very satisfied with Uchiha Itachi's surprised expression. In the first ninja war, the second generation Hokage died in the battle to cover the retreat of the current Konoha high-level officials. The subsequent war consumed the Senju clan that founded the village to the point where they were almost eliminated, and the victory they won only made him Sarutobi. What are you going to do? These can all be found in family records. As for Konoha, haha, have you heard the word Senju? In order to secure the position of Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen did everything possible to weaken him. Due to the influence of the first 2 generations of Hokage of the Senju family, the Senju clan naturally disappeared completely. Eradicating the influence of the Senju clan in Konoha is what Hiruzen Sarutobi did as Hokage in the First Ninja War. The victory of the Second Ninja World War depended on the three ninjas' bloody battle with the demigod Sanshoyu Hanzo, and on Konoha White Fang's defeat of the top management of Sunagaku. He, Sarutobi Hiruzen, hid in the office, under the banner of sitting in the rear, and the young ninja was sent to the battlefield, and he became the only Kage who did not go to the battlefield. Haha, the most ridiculous thing is, how are these heroes of World War II doing now? The three ninjas defected, some ran away, and Konoha White Fang even committed suicide because of rumors. Do you think this is normal? Is it really such a coincidence that something went wrong with these heroes? Seeing that Uchiha Itachi was about to say something to defend himself, Uchiha Nenga continued without giving him a chance to speak. Don't be impatient. Let's talk about the three wars again. You may not believe it. The heroes of the three wars also had problems. Hearing Uchiha Nenga say with a smile that something was wrong with the hero of the third war, Uchiha Itachi's eyes widened in disbelief. In the Third Ninja World War, Orochimaru led a tragic victory on the Sunagaku battlefield. I won't go into details about this. The Kurigaku battlefield is mainly dominated by our Uchiha clan, and a part of the Hyuga clan is also added. The Hyuga clan also lost its site at that time. Several famous heroes appeared in this battle. Let's come count. The Hyuga clan is mainly engaged in investigation. There are no outstanding figures, but they definitely have some credit. So what happened to them? 4 years ago, the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan was kidnapped by Kumogaku. The Hyuga clan handed over the clan leader. The corpse of his younger brother Hyuga Hazashi is the ending, which is the ending of the first hero. Then there will be the evil-eyed Uchiha Fugaku and Shunshin Shisui. I believe you know better than me what they are like now. As for people like Matt Dai who destroyed the conspiracy of the 7 ninja swordsmen, they died on the spot, but it was not due to him Sarutobi Hiruzen. Finally, our fourth Hokage Namikaku Minato, suppressed Reigaku's Abbey combination, destroyed the god of Mubi Bridge and ended the Iwagakure War. His achievements in the three wars are countless, but this is nothing compared to the third Hokage. It doesn't matter at all, what happened to the last 4 Hokages? He was in his prime and died after sealing the 9 tails. What do you think the third Hokage was doing at that time? Hearing this, Uchiha Itachi no longer had any idea of defending. Too many coincidences are no longer coincidences. So many Konoha heroes did not get a good end. No matter how they looked for reasons, they could not convince themselves to prove it. None of this is any of the Hokage's business. After all, he is no longer the ignorant age he used to be. Although he is often indoctrinated by the third Hokage in the Anbu, as an Anbu he still has many missions outside the village. During these missions, Uchiha Itachi also came into contact with all kinds of people and things, and naturally developed his own judgment. He also understood that what Uchiha Nenga said was probably the truth. Even if he didn't want to believe it, he had to face the reshaping of his 3 views in the face of these facts, and he also saw clearly the fact that the third Hokage and his senior officials were powerful on the outside but strong on the inside. Otherwise, there is absolutely no need for them to kill or drive away all the capable heroes. They are not really selfless. Everything is focused on Konoha. They would rather harm Konoha's interests to ensure their own power. Seeing the look of realization on Uchiha Itachi's face, Uchiha Nanhi knew that even if Uchiha Itachi understood the faces of the higher-ups, he would not make up his mind to take action against them, so he was ready to add more fire. Up to now, you still think they will abide by their agreement with you, right? So many facts show that as long as your brother Uchiha Sasuke shows enough talent, he who was born as an Uchiha will definitely be feared by the higher-ups. Guess what will happen to him? In the original work, Uchiha Itachi may have thought of this before allowing Uchiha Sasuke to go to Orochimaru. As for whether he had any backup plan, this is somewhat intriguing. However, from Orochimaru's morbid obsession with the Uchiha bloodline, as well as the space of the reincarnation ritual, the black power to counter Orochimaru, these abnormal events may all be at the hands of Uchiha Itachi. Since Uchiha Itachi can figure out the truth of all this in the original work, Uchiha Minami believes that under his own explanation, Uchiha Itachi can still quickly understand which side he should be on at the moment. Sure enough, As long as Uchiha Sasuke is mentioned, Uchiha Itachi will get rid of all confused emotions and become serious instantly. You mean, the third Hokage and Danzo Shimura will take action against Sasuke? How dare they? I have an agreement with them. Aren't they afraid that I will leak information about Konoha to other ninja villages? Haha, don't you dare. Why don't they dare? Is your brother more important than the Sannin, or more loyal than White Fang? Obviously, your brother is not important to them at all, as is your threat. Haha, in the Third Ninja World War, Konoha is not afraid of defeat against the four of them. They still dare to scheme against the Uchiha clan. How can they be afraid of your threat of leaking information? Even if a war breaks out, Konoha will still have cannon fodder. During Anbu, I wonder if you have noticed that Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Hokage, belongs to the Sarutobi clan. After 3 great ninja wars, whether it is the Senju clan, or Uchiha clan, or other clans in Konoha, they all gradually declined or even became extinct, but the Sarutobi clan where Hokage belongs has bucked the trend and has secretly become the strongest clan in Konoha. The firelight of our leaves after burning does not illuminate the new tree buds. You must know that the new tree buds are also sent to the battlefield to be used as firelight. These firelights illuminate his Sarutobi clan. This way Naruto, is he afraid of war? Uchiha Minami mercilessly destroyed Uchiha Itachi's last belief in the will of fire. Looking at Uchiha Itachi's unbelievable look, Uchiha Minami felt that he had finally brought this silly boy back. Old father feeling. Uchiha Itachi didn't notice the other party's gaze. Worried about his younger brother, he quickly woke up from the shattered beliefs and reshaping of his views. After understanding the current situation, he no longer acted aggressively towards Uchiha Minami and accepted it. The excellence of Uchiha Nanga. The young man in front of him is younger than himself, but he can see everything so thoroughly. His strength is even greater than that of himself and the masked man. He has a sense of responsibility, a strategy, and a means, which makes people awe-inspiring. Uchiha Nanga, your excellence is unmatched by others. I believe you also know the current situation of Uchiha. If you were allowed to take over the Uchiha clan, where would you go now? You know, the entire Uchiha clan is now surrounded by a barrier, and there are still many Anbu guarding it. Ordinary Uchiha clan members are no match for these Anbu clan members. You can't protect every clan member if you start a war rashly. The Uchiha clan will also suffer heavy losses. Besides, what are you going to do with me? No matter what, I hope you can keep my Mangekyo Sharingan and leave it to my brother Uchiha Sasuke in the future. You who have opened the Mangekyo Sharingan should also know that this is a pair of eyes that are constantly heading toward blindness. According to the information obtained from Uchiha Madara, to solve this flaw, only by transplanting the Mangekyo Sharingan from your biological brother can you regain the light, and get the ever more powerful Mangekyo Sharingan that will never go blind. As long as my brother opens the Mangekyo Sharingan in the future and then transplants my eyes, he will become the pillar of Uchiha, so please do not embarrass my parents and brother. Obviously, the awakened Uchiha Itachi blamed himself very much and had the will to die. At the same time, in order to let his brother get the care of Uchiha Nanga, he directly told the advanced method of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to increase the chips for Uchiha Sasuke. Stop, I won't kill you. What's the point of killing you? Now is the time when the Uchiha clan is in danger of survival. If you really feel that you are guilty, you should stand up at this time to protect more clan members and atone for their sins. Don't act like this with my parents dead, everything is still too late. Today's third Hokage is old, dim and indecisive. Although he is afraid of the Uchiha clan, as long as we are strong enough, he has nothing to fear. Shimura Danzo has been malicious towards Uchiha for a long time, and he even covets Uchiha's Sharingan. You should know how Shisui was attacked by surprise, right? Izanagi is the reason why he stares at Uchiha. Kaharu and Mito Kadoyan are just outsiders. They can stand on either side for their own interests. As long as we show enough advantages, they will keep their acquiescence. Among these 4 people, Shimura Danzo is the main promoter of the genocide plan. The third Hokage is afraid of the endless emergence of Uchiha geniuses and cannot control them, so he acquiesces in the execution of the genocide plan. The other 2 are just clowns who take advantage of the situation and want to gain profits. So, we just need to kill Danzo Shimura before the top management of Konoha can react, and then confront the third Hokage forcefully. I believe that for the sake of stability and to keep his position as Hokage, he will definitely compromise. As for Sarutobi Hiruzen, he is the Hokage after all. If we want to take over Konoha smoothly without causing chaos in Konoha, we can't kill him directly. We can only plot it slowly. Anyway, he has so much black information, so it's not difficult for him to be ruined. Hearing Uchiha Nanga say that he wanted to take over Konoha, Uchiha Itachi was instinctively a little nervous and frowned slightly, but he felt relieved in an instant. But this momentary frown was still noticed by Uchiha Minga. What, do you think our Uchiha clan is not qualified to take over Konoha? Not to mention the current strength of the Uchiha clan, let's just say that Uchiha is one of the two major families that founded the village in Konoha. With so many years of contribution to the village, the Senju clan has 3 Hokages. Why, it's our Uchiha clan's turn to have a Hokage. What's more, under the control of Sarutobi Hiruzen and other senior officials, Uchiha's reputation is not very good in the village, and other families have been more or less affected. If Naruto appears among them at this time, Uchiha will pose situation will not get any better. So, no matter what, this Hokage needs to appear among the Uchiha clan. It will be a good thing for the Uchiha clan and other ninjas. Uchiha Itachi did not refute. The frown before was just caused by the habit of so many years. Later, he understood that Uchiha really needed the position of Hokage urgently. This was not only beneficial to Uchiha, but also to the major families in Konoha. It can be regarded as breaking the monopoly of the Senju series. Therefore, Uchiha Itachi nodded in agreement. Seeing that Uchiha Itachi agreed, Uchiha Nanga stopped talking. He turned around and looked around. The previous clan members had not left yet. They followed him after the battle, but they were not close. After all, the intensity of the battle just now was frightening to them. Therefore, they only dared to keep some distance, but they also heard what Uchiha Nanga said just now, and thus understood the current difficult situation of the Uchiha clan. They were a little confused and listened to the end in silence. As for Uchiha Obito, he disappeared as early as when Uchiha Itachi eliminated Susanoo. Uchiha Minami guessed that it was probably Black Zetsu who took advantage of Uchiha Itachi to be restrained by his clone and Susanoo. Nengu rescued him during the break. The most important thing now is to deal with this genocide crisis. Regarding the matter of Uchiha Obito, I have to take time to settle the accounts with him later. Therefore, Uchiha Nanga did not waste time. Now that he had convinced Uchiha Itachi, he no longer restricted the other party and directly lifted the restrictions on him. Don't worry, there are still many places where you need to atone for your sins in the future. Now, time is urgent. We need to go see your father first and summon the clan members to deal with it, and then deal with the culprit outside who wants to take advantage. It just so happens that he is staying alone in the root base now, and maybe he is still dreaming about recovering a large number of Sharingan. The surrounding Uchiha tribesmen became agitated for a moment when they saw Uchiha Nanga let go of Uchiha Itachi, the sinner. Uchiha Itachi was also at a loss, not knowing how to face these tribesmen who had been hurt by him. Seeing this, Uchiha Nanhi did not let him be embarrassed, and took the initiative to stand up and said to the surrounding tribesmen, "You should have heard our conversation just now. Now the outside of the clan has been surrounded by Anbu. The top management of Konoha, led by the third Hokage, wants to destroy our Uchiha clan. The elderly and children don't want to let it go. The former Uchiha Itachi, that's what I received. Of course, after our conversation just now, you should also know that he was deceived before. He didn't know that Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others wanted to use their swords to kill people and make us, the Uchiha clan, kill each other, so they committed this mistake. Now that he has woken up, Uchiha has fallen into an unprecedented crisis. Therefore, I hope that the clansmen here can temporarily put aside their crusade against Uchiha Itachi. He is also an important fighting force of our clan. Let him first be punished and meritorious, and then wait for this. After this crisis of genocide has passed, another clan meeting will be held to try him." The surrounding Uchiha tribesmen naturally understood the current situation, and they did not want to become the souls killed by the Anbu. In order for themselves and their families to survive, they also had a strong sense of family, so they all helped to persuade those who were killed by Uchiha Itachi. The clansman who lost his family came. Yes, Murakami, now is the time when our clan's survival is at stake. Let Uchiha Itachi first plead guilty and perform meritorious service. When the crisis of genocide is over, if he can still survive, then let him atone for your children's sins. Yes, Sha Yu, the dead cannot be resurrected. Your husband was killed to protect you. He must have wanted you to live well, but now our entire Uchiha clan is in danger, and of course he needs to be there to protect you. Ahead, I'll give you a chance to survive. Grandma Yayoi, you are also an old man who has survived 3 ninja wars. You should know that without the protection of the clan, we would not be where we are today. Moreover, the child Itachi was also bewitched by Sarutobi Hiruzen, so whether it is to save we, the Uchiha clan, need Itachi's power to gain more vitality and to avenge Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others, so please put aside your hatred for him for the time being. Quote. Seeing the clan members around him who were constantly trying to persuade the victim's family, Uchiha Itachi felt even worse. He knelt on the ground and lowered his head deeply. Everyone, I'm really sorry. I used to be too narrow-minded and didn't see clearly the ugly faces of Sarutobi Hiruzen and the senior officials, so I made such a big mistake. I don't ask for your forgiveness, but please give me an opportunity to sacrifice my life. No matter what, I will ensure everyone's safety. Seeing Uchiha Itachi look so guilty, Uchiha Nenga also smiled with relief. People like Itachi Uchiha tend to be strong-willed. As long as they recognize their own set of logic, they will go all the way to the dark side. Now, under his own guidance, this will has been supplemented by himself to the point where he can justify himself, so the chance of him betraying him again is very low. Uchiha Nanhi believes that Uchiha Itachi now understands the true face of Konoha's top management who cannot tolerate geniuses who can escape from control. No matter how strange his brain circuit will be in the future, at least for now, he will definitely treat Uchiha Sasuke. If he is sincere, then in this counterattack drama, he will definitely put in a lot of effort, and he will only need to play support to survive. After all, Uchiha Fugaku is a big boy. As long as Uchiha Itachi sides with Uchiha, he, the clan leader, will work hard along with him. Judging from the current situation that Tsunade and Jiraiya have not returned to the village, Danzo Shimura has not obtained so many Sharingan eyes, and cannot have as many resurrection coins as in the original work, and Hiruzen Sarutobi is only a cage level, the double Mangekyo Sharingan was enough to easily counter-kill Shimura Danzo in this genocide drama and force Sarutobi Hiruzen to compromise. Uchiha Nenga also stopped speaking, and waited quietly for the Uchiha tribesmen present to express their opinions. After all, one should not persuade others to be kind without others suffering. He only explained the current situation and decided whether to let Uchiha Itachi go or to ask the families of the victims. You just have to speak, and you are morally kidnapped. If others don't like you, you won't like yourself either. Time passed bit by bit. At this critical moment, everyone knew not to waste time, but no one made decisions for the victim's family. For a while, the scene was a little quiet. Seeing that the tribesmen present had stopped speaking, Uchiha Nenga no longer waited. This was not the time to take care of the emotions of a few people. They just assumed that they had acquiesced in letting Uchiha Itachi go for the time being and allowed him to join the crusade against Wood as a viable force. Senior Yi is in the process of redemption. Therefore, Uchiha Nanhi no longer delayed and directly ordered. Okay, that's it. Now the clan members who are ninjas go to inform the clan members with double Magatama and above to gather at the clan leader's house. The ninjas with double Magatama and below lead other clan members to take refuge at Nanga Shrine. Itachi, let's go. Meet your father. After hearing the instructions, the surrounding tribesmen no longer bothered about Uchiha Itachi's affairs, and began to take action. After the battle just now, everyone recognized Uchiha Nenga as their own genius, and naturally believed in the arrangements he made, not to mention that in this crisis of genocide, when everyone is undecided. Uchiha Itachi was also a decisive person and followed Uchiha Nenga directly to his home. Fortunately, Uchiha Fugaku was also there at this time. Just after meeting Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Itachi was like a child who made a mistake, falling behind Uchiha Nanhi without saying a word. Uchiha Nanhi had no choice but to come forward and explain the current situation concisely. That's it, Mr. Clan Chief. I have notified Shuang Magatama and above clan members to come and gather. The other clan members have gone to Nanga Shrine to take refuge. Now I ask the clan leader to arrange matters within the clan and lead us to defeat the surrounding ones. Anbu, go and kill Danzo Shimura, the culprit. This is also an emergency situation. I have no choice but to discuss this countermeasure with Itachi. Does the patriarch think there is anything wrong with this arrangement? Uchiha Fugaku was a little unresponsive for a moment, and a young tribesman suddenly appeared and reported that the top management of Konoha wanted to destroy the Uchiha clan, and that barriers had been set up outside the clan area, and the Anbu had completed the siege. If it weren't for the fact that his son was beside him and he didn't raise any objection, and he knew his son's character very well, he wouldn't have allowed others to talk nonsense about this kind of thing, otherwise he would have regarded this young man as a psychopath. Looking at the boy in front of him, Uchiha Fugaku also had mixed emotions. He didn't expect that this famous genius boy could be so talented. He was younger than Itachi, but he activated the Mangekyo Sharingan, and defeated him, as a proud son. Not only did he realize the embarrassing situation of Uchiha and consciously hide himself, he was also able to stand up at this critical moment, dissuade Itachi, and handle matters within the clan in an orderly manner. This level of genius can no longer be explained by excellence, it is simply a monster. Thinking about his son and Uchiha Shisui, there is no comparison between them. They all focused their talents on fighting. What's even more annoying is that they lost to each other in fighting. Uchiha Fugaku even glared hard at his son who was hiding behind Uchiha Minagawa, with a hint of hatred for iron. Well, Uchiha Nanga, you handled it very well. You are indeed a genius of our Uchiha. Not only did you activate the Mangekyo Sharingan at a young age, but what's even more valuable is that you handled things flawlessly. It's very good. After saying that, he also looked at Uchiha Itachi, which made Uchiha Itachi have the illusion of other people's children. Then, Uchiha Fugaku's admiring smile instantly faded, and he looked directly at Uchiha Nanhi with a serious face, and Uchiha Itachi. But, have you ever thought about what will happen after we face the third Hokage, even if we deal with Danzo Shimura? I'm afraid you haven't realized this yet. Within our clan, we are actually divided into many factions. There are moderate factions like Shisui who seek peace between Uchiha and Konoha. Similarly, there are also radical factions. They exist, and it was they who initiated the Uchiha's conspiracy to seize power. Although I, the clan leader, have been working hard to suppress and balance the power of both sides so that they are evenly matched and restrain each other, as the suspicion and surveillance of Uchiha by the top management of Konoha has become more and more serious, the number of radicals has increased sharply. In order to prevent the Uchiha clan from falling apart, and now I have to be coerced into joining the camp of these radicals. After we destroy Shimura Danzo and his roots, with the character of these radicals and the prestige of defeating the roots, they will definitely not be able to negotiate properly with the third Hokage, and will probably choose to attack immediately. In that case, those of us who are moderates or other tribesmen who have no independent opinions will be coerced into participating in this battle. Similarly, other families and civilian ninjas in Konoha will also be forced to participate in this battle by Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third-generation Hokage. Instigate and participate in the action of protecting the village and suppressing the rebellion. You know, Danzo Shimura is ruthless and unpopular, and he doesn't have much support in the village. Killing him will naturally not cause much backlash. But Sarutobi Hiruzen is different. He has been the Hokage for so many years. Whether it is his prestige in the village or the ninjas and families who support him, there are many people. Once we touch him, we will definitely be attacked. If this continues, our Uchiha clan, not to mention taking over an entire village, will cause serious damage to the village and the family, allowing other villages to find opportunities to take advantage of the situation. Wait, father, I would like to interrupt you. Uchiha Nanga once said that you also activated the Mangekyo Sharingan. Is that true? Before Uchiha Fugaku could explain more about the problems that the Uchiha clan would face after they counterattack, Uchiha Itachi interrupted him and asked the question that had been buried in his heart. Yes, as early as during the Third War, when I saw my clansmen sacrificed to save me, I opened these cursed eyes. However, I don't know how Lord Nanhi knew about it. I thought I hid it very well. Never exposed to anyone else. Then, Uchiha Fugaku opened his own Sharingan, and with the rapid rotation of the three Magatama, a pair of kaleidoscope Sharingan appeared in front of Uchiha Nanga and the other two. When Uchiha Itachi saw the Mangekyo Sharingan in his father's eyes, he took a deep breath, and the last worries in his heart disappeared, and he had full confidence in this action. Chapter 31. According to Uchiha Itachi's previous knowledge, his father was very incompetent as the leader of the clan. He was unable to suppress the rebellious voices in the clan and even took the lead in provoking a military coup. This was what Uchiha Shisui thought at the beginning, which is why he suggested to Sarutobi Hiruzen to use another god to control the clan leader and suppress the signs of a coup. However, after Uchiha Shisui was sneak attacked by Shimura Danzo, it was discovered that this conflict was not something that Uchiha Fugaku could control, so he chose to commit suicide to escape. Only now did Uchiha Itachi understand that his father, like Shisui, was in a dilemma between his family and the village. He wanted to protect his clan but was unable to quell the suspicion and fear of the village. That's why he seemed like this. Incompetence and inadequacy. Yes, Mr. Patriarch, in my opinion, Mr. Patriarch can maintain peace between the village and Uchiha for such a long time in such a severe situation. This ability is enough to open the Mangekyo Sharingan. Hearing the young genius Uchiha Minga's affirmation of his hard work over the years, Uchiha Fugaku was also greatly relieved, and his eyes towards Uchiha Minga became even more cordial. This is the effect that Uchiha Minagawa needs to achieve by saying good things. If you want Uchiha Fugaku to become his tool, a few good words can get his approval. For this kind of good thing, 10 or 8 words are not too many. Afterwards, he accepted Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke as his younger brothers, coupled with his own talent and strength, and Uchiha Fugaku's sonorous and indecisive character, he would naturally listen to his own opinions and even influence some of his decisions. Although, Uchiha Fugaku, the leader of the clan, was very lax. He followed the orders from the root during the Nine Tails Rebellion and did not help the 4th generation Hokage, the contemporary Hokage. When the Uchiha clan was asked to relocate, he moved the clan. In the end, the Uchiha conspired to use force. He also chose to follow the coup. Judging from these signs, Uchiha Fugaku's shortcomings were very obvious. As long as he was strong and justified, he would obey him without a firm opinion. But this is also the best quality of a tool person. The Mangekyo Sharingan is powerful but has no independent opinion. This is the kind of person Uchiha Nanga needs. But the clan leader said that the Mangekyo Sharingan is a cursed eye. I disagree with this. The reason why the Patriarch believes that the Mangekyo Sharingan is a cursed eye is because the opening of the Mangekyo Sharingan will inevitably be accompanied by unbearable pain. This is the reason. Seeing Uchiha Fugaku nodding in agreement, Uchiha Nanga explained his point of view. But in my opinion, the Mangekyo Sharingan is not only not a cursed eye, but a protective eye. We only gained its power after enduring great pain, and it is not intended to prevent us from encountering the same thing in the future. When something happens, you have the ability to prevent the same thing from happening. Isn't this the last protection and sustenance of the dead for the living? Therefore, I think the Mangekyo Sharingan is the eye of protection, the last protection of the people and things that have passed away for those who care about them. Guardian Eye. After accepting Uchiha Nanga's novel point of view, both Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi, who was listening silently, couldn't help but touch their eyes. Thinking of the situation when they opened their eyes, they agreed with this point of view in a daze. Seeing that Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi were both immersed in memories, Uchiha Nanga didn't bother them too much, thinking about the question that Uchiha Fugaku had just raised that was ignored by them. This is an oversight. I only thought about how to retaliate against Danzo Shimura and force the 3rd generation to make concessions. I didn't take into account the internal problems on the Uchiha side at all. Judging from the original work, there is indeed a group of tribesmen who think highly of themselves. They don't take anyone seriously and are inexplicably confident in their own strength. By the way, it's the character of Qingtiansuk. He is arrogant even if he has some strength. He feels that he can do it in seconds. He can lose his breath every second of the day. His strength is not good, but his ability to cause trouble is often the best in the world. This kind of people who succeed more than fail are the ones who lack severe beatings, but cannot take action on their own side. Once they find out that they have a master on their side, not only will their confidence not be frustrated, but it will increase their arrogant confidence. After all, my current confidence comes from Uchiha Madara, who can rival Senju Hashirama. So, we can only let outsiders beat them up. This attack on the route is very suitable. Then let them charge on the front line. While recognizing themselves, they can also do their part for the glory of Uchiha in their hearts. Those who survive should have a clear understanding of themselves and no longer dare to rush towards the third Hokage and many other ninjas. In this case, sacrifice is inevitable. We can't let them take both Konoha and Uchiha into the ditch, or leave them behind and let them ruin Uchiha's future plans. The plan in their minds was decided, and Uchiha Fugaku and his son also came to their senses, so Uchiha Nenga told Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Fugaku what he had just thought, and asked them to check for any omissions and fill in the gaps. After hearing this, Uchiha Itachi expressed great agreement and even wanted to bury all the radicals in the root base. This was of course opposed by Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Nenga. But Uchiha Fugaku was entangled and did not agree with this proposal. Uchiha Nenga was also speechless for a while. As expected of you, there was no other way but to be more sincere. Master Patriarch, in the past, we could use force to slowly make them realize their weakness, but now the situation is urgent and there is not so much time to correct their thinking. Moreover, if you put them in the clan area, they are more likely to have accidents of disobeying orders and going out without authorization. You can only put them on the frontal battlefield and let the root ninjas make them realize their shortcomings as soon as possible. Otherwise, no matter whether it is Uchi, both the Bo clan and Konoha will be in danger because of this small group of people, so the clan leader should make a decision early. Uchiha Itachi saw everything in his eyes, and when he saw that his father was still hesitant, he also tried to persuade him. Father, please put the overall situation first. We always need other people to attack the root base with us. Why can't it be them? And we are not letting them die, just to let them recognize the reality and no longer be blind. It's just arrogance, and it's harmless to us, the Uchiha clan, Konoha, and themselves. After Uchiha Nenga and hearing his son's advice, Uchiha Fugaku also made up his mind. Okay, I will select these tribesmen with radical ideas to serve as pioneers. I just hope that a few more of them can survive. Hey! Seeing that Uchiha Fugaku finally made up his mind, Uchiha Nenga breathed a sigh of relief, but immediately became Spartan again. What's the matter? I've been talking to you for a long time, but you hesitated, but your son just said a word, and you reluctantly agreed. It seems that it will be early to accept Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke as younger brothers. It's on the agenda. After the problems within the clan were resolved, Uchiha Minami and his party discussed some attack plans. As the proposer of the plan, Uchiha Minami put forward his own plan without hesitation. Now we can't immediately break up with the third Hokage, so we can't move the Anbu for the time being. My suggestion is that the Anbu outside the clan and directly belonging to the Hokage only need to be subdued with illusions. As for the roots, they have now completely become Shimura Danzo's personal armed forces. They will not listen to the Hokage's orders. Leaving them will only cause trouble for us. Therefore, I suggest annihilating them all directly. Uchiha Nenga's suggestion made both Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi frown, but they remembered the way those root ninjas acted, so they did not object and continued to listen quietly to Uchiha Nenga's next plan. Next, go directly to the root base to find Danzo. The third generation Hokage and 2 advisors are in the Hokage's office. There are also some ninjas from major families. They may be discussing the attack on the Hokage building last night. Danzo Shimura is not in the root base. He is probably worried that I will attack his root base again and did not go to the Hokage building. Maybe he is still looking forward to receiving our Uchiha's Sharingan. In addition, we still need to keep some ninjas behind to protect the safety of civilians. I suggest that we arrange for those conservatives to stay behind. As for those who have no independent opinions, they should be led by the Patriarch to guard the various exits of the route to prevent Sarutobi Hiruzen arrival. Itachi and I will lead the radical tribesmen into the root base and kill Shimura Danzo. That's pretty much the plan for tonight. As for the confrontation with Sarutobi Hiruzen, we will have to trouble the Patriarch a lot. We will collect the evidence against Danzo Shimura as soon as possible and come out to meet with you. I believe that the evidence will make the major. The clan and civilian ninja were shocked. There was a mocking evil smile on Uchiha Minami's lips. Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi also knew that it was Uchiha Minami who invaded the root base and Hokage building before, so they also understood that maybe in that invasion, Uchiha Minami learned a lot of evidence against Danzo Shimura. After Uchiha Nanga explained his plan, Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi both felt it was feasible and nodded in approval. However, Uchiha Fugaku still had no confidence in facing Hiruzen Sarutobi. Nanga-kun, do you think the third Hokage will really choose to compromise? You know, the third Hokage must have acquiesced in the destruction of the Uchiha clan. Such a good opportunity can unite the major family ninjas and civilian ninjas to destroy our Uchiha clan. The entire clan will be arrested immediately for committing rebellion, so he shouldn't miss it. Now Uchiha Fugaku has shown his recognition and trust in Uchiha Nanga, so without too much hesitation, he directly asked his concerns. When Uchiha Nanga heard Uchiha Fugaku's concerns, he felt a little funny for a moment. From the third Hokage's governing philosophy over the years, he still couldn't see what kind of leader the third Hokage was. He could only say that the third Hokage managed himself. The image of the person is very good. First it was Uchiha Itachi, and now there is him. Uchiha Nanga didn't care about anything and was ready to directly expose the tall image of the third Hokage in his mind. Don't worry. As the leader of the clan, you should see many things more clearly than most people. Whether it is the escape of the three ninjas or the killing of White Fang, it all reflects the fact that Sarutobi Hiruzen is strong on the outside and strong on the inside. Now that he is old and has more conservative, you can tell from the incident at the Hyuga family 4 years ago. Konoha was already very weak at that time, and the younger generation had not grown up. If a war broke out again, it would be his Sarutobi clan who would take the lead, so he chose to betray the interests of the village and push out the Hyuga clan to calm Reikaku's anger. It can also be seen that as long as his power and reputation are not threatened and as long as there is a way out, he will cherish his life very much. Otherwise, it would not be the fourth Hokage who used the ghoul seal to stop the Nine Tails. It's entirely because of them that we Uchiha have reached this point. He knows this better than us, and our Uchiha clan can tolerate it for so long before it explodes. In addition, we didn't kill his direct Anbu, so I believe he won't either. It's hard to guess that we won't completely break up with him. This is the tacit understanding between us and him, coupled with the power of our 3 pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan, he will of course choose to compromise. Seeing that although there was no expression of worry on Uchiha Fugaku's face, there was no other expression. Uchiha Nanhi also understood that he still had concerns, which was a bit helpless. Uchiha Nanhi had no choice but to give an example. Haha, Danzo Shimura has a good grasp of this aspect. Every time he took advantage of the third Hokage's compromise and tolerance, he dared to step on Sarutobi Hiruzen's weakness every time and act unscrupulously. For his own benefit, he attacked the major families in the same village and destroyed their family members. The genius is absorbed into the root and cultivated into a tool that obeys only himself. From then on, the tail cannot be lost, and even he cannot command the root. So, as long as we don't have the idea of completely betraying Konoha, endangering his power and reputation, and if we show enough strength to make him feel that he is not sure to simply take us down, then he will inevitably compromise. After all, he has been in that position for too long, and he no longer has the ambition he had back then. Any decision he makes will be based on his own interests unconsciously, and the village will only be ranked behind. Therefore, even if other ninjas come out and he will help us convince others. Of course, this also requires the patriarch to grasp his mentality and be stronger. After analyzing these, Uchiha Minagawa stopped talking. Whether he could figure this out and make no mistakes in the subsequent confrontation with the third generation depends on Uchiha Fugaku himself. Uchiha Nanga didn't want to stand out. It would be bad if he attracted the attention of old silver coins like Six Path Sage. After all, Konoha in this era is quite special, and the Uchiha family's genocide crisis is another very important node. Uchiha Minga was not disappointed, but after thinking for a while, Uchiha Fugaku raised his head with a smile. and all the confusion and anxiety in his eyes faded away, and he looked at Uchiha Minga with admiration. It's really yours, Nanga-kun. I didn't expect that you analyzed Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others so thoroughly. When it comes to the ability to read people, the whole of Konoha is probably far behind. When Hinata Hazashi died, although I also felt that something was wrong, but I never expected that it was not only the high-level officials who wanted to beat the Hyuga clan, but also the third generation of Hokage who was strong and weak, betraying the interests of the village in order to protect his own interests. After the three people discussed, the Uchiha combat members had also assembled in the courtyard. Uchiha Fugaku led Uchiha Nanga and Uchiha Itachi out and faced the clan members. You must also know the current situation of our Uchiha clan. The outside of the clan has been blocked by Anbu. The Anbu ninjas headed by Danzo Shimura want to kill us all. There is no possibility of easing. Of course, we cannot sit still and wait for death. Please call now. All tribesmen, be prepared to fight to defend our tribe. As soon as Uchiha Fugaku finished speaking, a burst of discussion broke out from the Uchiha tribe below. Some were insensitive, some were angry and abusive, some were worried, and some were full of fighting spirit. Lord Clan Leader, let us go out and kill all these high-level dogs in Konoha, and then go to the Hokage building to kill the third Hokage, so that the clan leader can ascend to the position of Hokage. Yes, Mr. Patriarch, we recommend you to be Hokage. Let us go and twist off the heads of Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo to increase your prestige in the Hokage succession ceremony. Kill Shimura Danzo, overthrow the top leaders of Konoha, let us Uchiha lead Konoha, and kill everyone who refuses to accept it. Quote. The more these people spoke, the more outrageous they became. Uchiha Fugaku felt helpless at the thought of these people, so he had to raise his hand to interrupt them. If they continued, Uchiha would have to unify the ninja world. Fortunately, not all Uchiha clan members were like this. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the clan members who were either silent or worried, and prepared to focus on training them in the future. Well, Konoha is everyone's Konoha, and it is our Uchiha's Konoha. We are one of the two major village building families in Konoha. Now that the Senju is hiding, Konoha is getting weaker and weaker under the leadership of the third generation of Hokage. The major families have been suppressed, civilian ninjas have no chance to flourish, and young people are sent to the battlefield. At this time, of course we, the Uchiha clan, need to bring order to the chaos and return a harmonious and strong Konoha to the land of fire. So, we cannot kill at will, and we must treat the villagers of Konoha as our own clansmen. We are proud Uchiha, and we do not bother to swing our swords at the weak. We are only removing the cancer in Konoha, and at the same time, we are also trying to revitalize our Uchiha, the past glory of the clan. Then, I hope that all clan members participating in the war will obey the command. Anyone who acts without authorization and disrupts our clan's revival plan will be a sinner for the ages, and he should go and apologize to the Uchiha ancestors. Uchiha Fugaku's attitude of treating Uchiha as the master of Konoha was very appealing to the group of radical and indignant tribesmen below, making them all cheer as if they had been given blood. At the same time, he also warned not to act without authorization. There will be special arrangements for this operation. These unusual arrangements are for the rise of the family, so that they can limit their actions from their own heart. Okay, now let's start explaining in groups. Uchiha Fugaku did not give them any extra time to discuss, and directly began to divide the left behind and combat members. Uchiha Setsuna, Uchiha Inari, Uchiha Iron Fire, your group belongs to Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Nanga's first team, and will attack first as a vanguard. For the remaining Uchiha tribesmen, Uchiha Yashura and Uchiha Yaoi each lead a team. Uchiha Yashura and I are in a team responsible for suppressing the retreating formation. Uchiha Yaoi's team is responsible for staying in the clan territory and protecting the safety of the clan members. Quote. Uchiha Fugaku had just finished dividing into groups, and before he could give any more instructions, the radical faction headed by Setsuna Uchiha started to argue with dissatisfaction. Why do you let your son and this brat who is still in the ninja school lead the team? Yes, why? And Uchiha Itachi, you haven't been cleared of Shisui's suspicion of committing suicide. There was a battle just next to Nanga Shrine. I heard that you were massacring the clan members. How could you be allowed to lead the team? Uchiha Inari's words instantly exposed Uchiha Itachi's anomaly. For a moment, everyone started talking. Previously, because of time constraints, few tribesmen knew the truth, but now, tribesmen who knew what happened also began to talk about what had just happened. Come what happens. The tribesmen who knew the truth were instantly in an uproar, and the sound of attacking Uchiha Itachi resounded throughout the patriarch's courtyard. Even Uchiha Makoto appeared at the door with a worried look on her face, looking at Uchiha Itachi, and a group of people even glared at Uchiha Fugaku, asking for it. He offers an explanation. Uchiha Fugaku glared at Uchiha Inari, but Uchiha Inari was not deterred at all and stared back angrily. For Uchiha Inari, although he understood what happened after the clan members explained, he still didn't wait. Meet Itachi Uchiha. Because of Shisui's death, there was a conflict when investigating Uchiha Itachi, and Uchiha Itachi sneak attacked him and knocked down the three of Uchiha Tekka. He was naturally unconvinced, and even at this time he still maintained his feelings towards Uchiha Itachi. Suspect. Uchiha Fugaku was also extremely distressed. There were very few clan members who wanted to know about this matter. Now the matter was urgent. After this crisis was over, a clan meeting would be held to discuss the matter. But after Uchiha Inari made such a fuss, everyone knew it, and Uchiha Fugaku had to deal with this matter first to ensure that there would be no mistakes in the next actions. Uchiha Itachi had committed an unforgivable crime because he was bewitched by Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo, but he has repented and is willing to fight to protect his family. Moreover, he is strong enough and has a deep understanding of the high-level officials of Konoha. We also need his power to prevent Hiruzen Sarutobi and other high-level officials of Konoha from leaping over the wall. The family of the victim also acquiesced in his act of atonement for this. As the leader of the clan, I must also be responsible for the clan, so no one is more suitable than him to hold the position of captain at the forefront. In addition, Uchiha Shisui was killed by Shimura Danzo in a sneak attack and had nothing to do with it. Our main goal of this operation is to eliminate Shimura Danzo and his roots. Quote. So that's it. Since the victims are not being held accountable for the time being, what else can we say? I support the clan leader's decision. Some clan members were relieved after hearing Uchiha Fugaku's explanation and expressed their understanding and support. But Uchiha Inari and the others who had unpleasant experiences with Uchiha Itachi didn't want to let it go. Even if no one pursues it, what strength does he have to lead us? He is only a teenager, and Uchiha Minga, he is just a student of the ninja school. Regardless of strength or ability, wouldn't Elder Setsuna be more suitable? Quote. Uchiha Minami was slowly eating the melon on the side. He was not in a hurry. The spore technique monitored the entire Konoha and everything was under control. However, he did not expect that eating the melon would affect him. Uchiha Minami was helpless and had to signal. Look at Uchiha Itachi next to him. The two of them stepped forward together and stood next to Uchiha Fugaku. In an instant, the three of them opened their Sharingan together. Their eyes moved and connected to form a new pattern. They just stared quietly at the people below who were still talking about each other. The sudden burst of powerful chakra and pupil power in the field instantly silenced the noisy crowd, and everyone stood motionless with their mouths wide open as if a restraining spell had been cast. Then, looking at the unique patterns in the eyes of the three people, cheers of surprise instantly resounded throughout the Uchiha clan. Even among the Uchiha clan, the Mangekyo Sharingan is a legendary eye. Since the two brothers Uchiha Madara opened the Mangekyo Sharingan during the Warring States period, many clan members have not heard of other legends about the Mangekyo Sharingan. As for Uchiha Shisui, his eye-opening information is a secret, and only a few senior officials know it. But now, this legendary power that can suppress the wood release of the Warring States period and is comparable to that of the first Hokage has appeared in the Uchiha clan again, and it has triple pairs as soon as it appears. Why doesn't this make all the Uchiha clansmen happy and excited? Feel honored. Especially the old people, the Mangekyo Sharingan is their belief, and every one of them cried with joy. After waiting for so many years, Uchiha's ultimate power finally appeared again, which means that Uchiha's rise will be unstoppable. It's the Mangekyo Sharingan. It's 3 pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan. Long live the clan leader. Long live Uchiha. For a time, there were endless shouts of excitement. Seeing the shouts of the surrounding tribesmen, Uchiha Fugaku did not stop him. He knew that since the second Hokage took office, Uchiha has not been well received by Konoha, especially during the reign of the third Hokage. He was severely punished. Suppression. This suppression has been going on for too long. Now that we finally see the hope of the family's rise, it is understandable. Uchiha Satsuna and his party, who originally had objections, no longer had any objections to their appointment to lead their party when they saw the Mangekyo Sharingan of Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Nanga. Uchiha Inari and Uchiha Tiehui also knew that the reason why they were easily knocked down in the first place was not the result of Uchiha Itachi's sneak attack. Uchiha Itachi, who opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, dealt with 3 of them with ordinary 3 Magatama writings. The Wheel Eye, no matter how they fight, can easily win. No one understands better than them the suppression of the lower Sharingan by the upper Sharingan. Therefore, at this time, the Uchiha Inari and the others are also convinced of Uchiha Itachi. Compared with other tribesmen, this group of radicals headed by Uchiha Satsuna believed in the supremacy of strength and respect for the strong, so they were more able to accept the status changes of Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Minami. I really didn't expect that the young clan leader and Uchiha Minami would activate the Mangekyo Sharingan at such a young age, especially Uchiha Minami. We didn't pay much attention to you before. I didn't expect that you without many resources could still be able to do it at this age. Turning on the Mangekyo Sharingan, this talent is comparable to that of the Madara clan leader back then. Even, under the leadership of your 3 pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha will surpass the glory of the leader of the Madara clan. Uchiha Satsuna had given up his reserve as the leader of the radical faction, and did not care about the previous unpleasantness, and loudly praised Uchiha Fugaku and the others without any image. Yes, especially Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Nanga, they are so powerful at such a young age. I now very much agree that they will lead us to create Uchiha's glory again. Today, the 2 brothers Uchiha Inari and Uchiha Tekka have become fans of Uchiha Minami, and their admiration is beyond words. Seeing such a scene, a satisfied smile appeared on Uchiha Fugaku's face. He finally let go of Uchiha Itachi's matter for the time being, but there are still powerful enemies outside looking at him. This is not the time for the tribe to cheer excitedly. Without further ado, Uchiha Fugaku raised his hand to suppress the restlessness of his clan members and continued with the arrangements. We only need to kill Danzo Shimura and the roots of his leadership this time. The injustice our Uchiha suffered before, as well as the darkness in the village, were almost all caused by his secret hands. Once again, if Uchiha wants to take back the position of Hokage, he should regard Konoha village as his family's territory and the villagers of Konoha as his family members. Whoever dares to harm our own people and property, it will not be tolerated. Those ninjas who attack us only need to defeat their captives. They will all be our subordinates. As for the position of Hokage, I will make other arrangements. Anyone who disrupts the plan and acts without authorization should commit suicide and apologize. The reason why Uchiha Fugaku repeatedly emphasized it was to lay the groundwork for the subsequent confrontation with the third Hokage, as he did not want the stupid Aoki to start a war at that time. After doing this, Uchiha Fugaku signaled to Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Nanga that they could start taking action. The 2 of them also understood the situation and immediately led their group of clansmen to kill the Anbu who were blocking the outside of the clan. At this time, the perimeter of the Uchiha clan was already surrounded by Anbu and root ninjas. They all stared nervously at the Uchiha clan in the barrier, hoping not to let go of any Uchiha clan member. But after being on guard here for a long time, no Uchiha was seen escaping. Except for the 2 half-giants who attacked each other for a while and then ended, there was no movement at all. The ceiling barrier isolated the movement inside, and also prevented the Anbu outside from knowing what was going on inside. In order not to alert others, they could only observe closely to obtain information. There had been no movement for such a long time, and the Anbu members also felt that something was wrong. It seems that something unexpected happened in the Uchiha clan. Assemble and leave 2 teams to guard the perimeter to prevent any survivors from escaping. The rest will follow me in to check the situation. Nighthawk, please report the incident here immediately to Hokage-sama. The Anbu captain who was in charge here saw that something was wrong in the development of the matter, so he immediately went in to check and report the current situation. The root ninjas were also preparing to report the change to Shimura Danzo, just when the two teams of ninjas had just entered the barrier. Illusion * Naraku see art. But at this moment, a young Uchiha appeared in front of them, with a pair of scarlet Sharingan eyes open like a big four-cornered pinwheel, and he cast an ninjutsu on them with a seal. No, it's Uchiha Itachi. He betrayed us. Be careful not to look at his Sharingan. The Anbu people reacted instantly, came up with countermeasures, and took out flares to prepare a warning signal. Just when he took out the flare, Uchiha Itachi's illusion was also successful. In an instant, a large number of Anbu members fell to the ground with a look of horror on their faces. But there are also some Anbu members who stand motionless. Obviously, these Anbu are members of the roots under the leadership of Shimura Danzo, and only they can do it without any expression even if they are under the illusion. After all, under the brainwashing of the roots, he has already given up on his past and future, and naturally has no feelings whatsoever. Ninjas at their core no longer regard themselves as human beings, and naturally no longer have the emotion of fear, but this does not mean that they will not fall into illusions. Just like now, they will still be restricted by the illusion and unable to move, but there will be no emotional torture bonus. But in the current situation, this kind of tool behavior of the root ninja has become a light in the dark night. Others have fallen under the illusion, but you have not fallen. Not only did you not fall, but your face still looks like that. There is no need to verify the expressionless look on his face. This kind of existence without any emotional fluctuations is undoubtedly the root cause. Even if some of the fallen people slipped through the net, they were definitely not loyal to Shimura Danzo, so it wouldn't matter if they were let go. From this point of view, if the Uchiha clan really makes a concerted effort to launch a surprise attack on Konoha, it will really cause Konoha to suffer a big loss. This is the case now. In an unobstructed place, a Sharingan illusion is used. The Anbu that was looking directly could not even send out a signal to warn. What's more, this is an illusion powered by Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan, so there is no possibility of resistance. Therefore, when they were suspicious of the Uchiha clan, it was still necessary for Sarutobi Hiruzen and other senior officials to send Anbu to monitor them. However, what they never expected was that the Mangekyo Sharingan could do this by using illusions. Degree. Uchiha Nanga came here with the advance team, and when he saw the Anbu who had been controlled by Uchiha Itachi, he had to admire the opponent's illusion ability. Because my training time is too short, I have only begun to dabble in genjutsu, so I can only rely on the hypnotic ability of the Sharingan to perform genjutsu. However, after discovering the nature of kaleidoscope illusions such as Tsukuyomi, he believed that his future illusion abilities would surpass everyone else's. Even the infinite Tsukuyomi would not affect him. No longer thinking about it, seeing that all the team members were waiting behind him, he directly ordered. Knock out all the Anbu who have fallen to the ground, and kill all the remaining Anbu who are still standing. The surrounding Uchiha clan members heard such a somewhat puzzled order and had no objections. Ninjas are a group of people who only exist to complete tasks, not to mention Uchiha Fugaku's previous explanation in advance. Therefore, without any hesitation, they stepped forward and knocked out all the Anbu who had fallen to the ground. Just when they were about to attack the remaining root members who were still standing, Uchiha Itachi directly released the genjutsu restraint. Compared to having a heart of stone, except for Uchiha Obito, there is probably no one in the ninja world who can be as hard-hearted as Uchiha Itachi. As long as it hinders the beliefs in his heart, he can attack anyone. The only thing that can make him show some mercy is Uchiha Itachi. Of course, I'm afraid it's only his younger brother Uchiha Sasuke. Even his favorite brother, with the belief of protecting Konoha, has thought about using other gods to change his will. Such a being will naturally not pity these radical tribesmen. Since he wants to teach them a lesson, he must start from the beginning. Not helpful in the slightest to begin with. Many radical Uchiha tribesmen did not feel betrayed when they saw Uchiha Itachi let go of the genjutsu. Instead, they all became extremely excited. They pulled out their kunai and killed the root ninja who had just woken up. In the opinion of this group of beaten-up Uchiha, killing those motionless wooden stakes is the greatest insult to them. Only by fighting with real swords and guns like now can they reflect their value and show their strength. And excellent. Uchiha Nanga did not stop him. After all, They were all tribesmen who had their eyes opened. Moreover, these root ninjas had just broken free from the illusion, and they also had the upper hand. Naturally, there would be no larger attacks before attacking the root base. The casualties will be left to them. Sure enough, the battle ended quickly. With the upper hand, Sharingan, an excellent blood successor, had the advantage in hand-to-hand combat. In the final count of losses, only 2 members of the double Magatama tribe were killed in the battle, but there were quite a few injured. This is something that cannot be avoided. When these root ninjas wake up, they know that their mission has failed. With their inhumane behavior, they will naturally squeeze out their last strength in order to change. If you drop a few enemies and play with such a life-threatening approach, injuries are inevitable. Even if he understands this fact, facing this rare opportunity to defeat this group of Long Aotian clansmen, Uchiha Nanga will naturally not miss it. After yelling angrily and gathering together, a group of Uchiha tribesmen who were still somewhat complacent came to Uchiha Nanga at a loss. Trash, you have the upper hand, but there are still casualties. Look at you, most of them are injured. Don't you think you are very powerful? When they clamor for a coup by force, isn't it about pitting one clan against a village? How is your so-called revitalization of the Uchiha clan based on fantasy? Or does it all depend on the Mangekyo Sharingan of the 3 of us? So what's the use of you? Want to cheer us on? Then who are you showing off by looking so arrogant? Self-comfort, or do you feel honored to rely on others? Quote. A series of questions from the depths of their souls made this group of radical tribesmen, who had been so proud of having killed so many members of their roots, instantly lower their heads in shame. Of course, they could not help but hold their necks and glare at Uchiha Minami. What, are you still unconvinced? It doesn't matter. Next, we will attack the root base directly. The defense there is tighter and it belongs to their home court. More importantly, in such a complicated place, Itachi's illusions cannot be as good as they are now. I've given you a head start in this way, so let me see what you're capable of. HMPH, I hope you can remember that the strength of Itachi and I has nothing to do with you, and we will not help you in that situation. Recognize yourselves. Our strength is ours, not your arrogance to rely on. Everyone has times when they are weak, and those who are weak will not be underestimated, and those who are arrogant will eventually taste the consequences. I hope you all live to survive until the Uchiha rises. That's it, let's go. Nodding to Uchiha Itachi understood and led the team towards the root base. However, Uchiha Nanga fell behind the team and silently separated into 2 clones and headed towards the depths of Konoha. Uchiha Itachi noticed something and turned to look at Uchiha Nanhi. He didn't explain much, he just gave Uchiha Itachi a reassuring look and followed him with strength on his feet. Uchiha Itachi pondered for a moment, as if he had thought of something, and his expression instantly relaxed, as if he had put down the last burden. A look of determination filled his face, and he continued to rush towards the root base. Within a short time, the advance team led by Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Minagawa arrived at the underground entrance of the root base. After quickly clearing away the surrounding hidden sentries, the team led by Uchiha Fugaku also arrived here. Uchiha Fugaku, who had arranged the clan's houses, was also surprised by their advancement efficiency when he saw this scene. Seeing that everyone was ready, Uchiha Itachi told Uchiha Fugaku the entrance to the root base that he and Uchiha Shisui knew during their time in Anbu, without saying too much nonsense, and then rushed into the root base head-on. After all, Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi are good friends, and it is naturally not impossible for them to exchange information. This also provides convenience for Uchiha Fugaku to block the exit of the base. Uchiha Nanhi and the remaining pioneer tribesmen did not stop, following Uchiha Itachi's footsteps, and rushed into the root base one after another. Uchiha Fugaku outside did not delay, and immediately arranged for his clan members to guard each exit, while he directly guarded the exit closest to the Hokage building to prevent the third Hokage from receiving the news. Uchiha Nanhi was the last one to enter the root base. When he came in, there were already several corpses of root ninjas lying on the ground. Presumably, these root ninjas wanted to sneak attack Uchiha Itachi and were killed. After all, with so many people from the Uchiha clan gathering outside, they would naturally be discovered and respond. Continuing to move forward for a certain distance, there were traces of battles along the way, and Uchiha clan members also appeared among the corpses on the ground. Suddenly, several jet black shurikens were shot from the darkness at Uchiha Minami, who was looking leisurely. He did not dodge, and 3 shurikens penetrated through his figure. Uchiha Minami, who was extremely desperate for life, was in such a narrow battlefield, so he naturally turned on his virtualization ability at any time. The journey seemed leisurely, but in fact he was highly concentrated, and his pair of Mangekyo Sharingan had already been activated. In order to make up for one's own lack of combat experience, turning on the Sharingan on such a battlefield to quickly learn other people's battle processes can be regarded as a bypassing effect. However, when one is not absolutely sure, in such a place that is extremely easy to be attacked by sneak attacks, the first priority is to turn on virtualization at any time to save one's life. Seeing that the hidden weapon he had sneaked out had not done anything, the root ninja hiding in the dark did not hesitate at all. Holding a short sword, he directly launched a surprise attack on the Uchiha kid in front of him. The attack of the root ninja on the opposite side was clearly reflected in Uchiha Mingawa Sharingan's eyes. Trajectory: while easily avoiding it, the kunai in his hand wiped the opponent's neck smoothly, and continued to move forward without looking back. Along the way to the previous hall, they were attacked several times, and the sounds of fighting also came from there. All the root ninjas on the surface were eliminated by the tribesmen who entered here first, leaving only some ninjas hiding in the dark, ready to wait for an opportunity to sneak attack from behind. However, they saw an Uchiha kid trying to pass through, so they naturally greeted him with a sneak attack. As before, Uchiha Minagawa, in order to hone his combat experience, first turned on the virtual blur to avoid the first wave of sneak attacks, and then used the huge dynamic vision given by the Mangekyo Sharingan to fight against the enemy. As a result, my understanding of combat has improved a lot. As soon as he entered the hall, he saw that the Uchiha tribesmen who had come in earlier were fighting with the root ninjas and having fun, but Uchiha Itachi was standing alone on the corridor bridge. Any root ninja who came close to him would be instantly beaten by his superb fighting methods. Instant kill. Uchiha Nanga thought for a moment and understood the reason why Uchiha Itachi no longer continued to search for Shimura Danzo. This is the passage center of the entire root base. As long as you stay here, no matter how many people are in the base, whether you choose to fight or leave to report to the third Hokage, you need to pass here. Rather than searching for Shimura Danzo everywhere in this well-connected root base, where there is a risk of missing each other or letting each other go, it would be simpler and more trouble-free to just sit back and wait here. Naturally, Uchiha Nanga would not let go of this opportunity to exercise his fighting ability. He also released the virtualization and joined the battle. While carefully honing his fighting ability, he observed the fighting process of other tribesmen. Over a period of time, it can be said to be a great harvest. At this time, Shimura Danzo deep in the base had received the news that Itachi Uchiha led the Uchiha clan to invade the root base. His anger suddenly rose and he killed the ninja who reported it on the spot. I thought I would soon receive the news that Uchiha had been wiped out by the entire clan, and that the root ninjas had brought back a large number of Sharingan eyes. However, I didn't expect that this group of Uchiha who should have been wiped out actually came directly to their base and took the lead. It turned out to be Uchiha Itachi, whom he valued most in this operation, which made his originally very good mood suddenly clouded. Uchiha Itachi, as expected, all Uchiha cannot be trusted. Some people continued to prepare Sharingan storage instruments, and others joined me to kill the invading Uchiha. However, everything else is fine. Be sure to ensure that their eyes are not damaged. Uchiha Itachi. This was good, as he had the opportunity to completely destroy Uchiha and at the same time gain a pair of precious Mangekyo Sharingan. Sarutobi could only acquiesce to this. Quote, due to the previous agreement between Uchiha Itachi and the top management of Konoha, and under the pressure of the third Hokage, Shimura Danzo was not able to take action against the two brothers Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke. Now, they sent their excuses to him, the Dark of the Ninja World. For Shimura Danzo, who has the huge power of many root ninjas, this is an excellent opportunity to completely destroy the Uchiha clan. In Shimura Danzo's understanding of the ninja world, no matter how sharp your attacks are, how powerful your defenses are, how fast you are, or whether you have as much chakra as a tailed beast, you can't defeat the human sea tactics. The third Raikage is a living example. You have unparalleled defense and attack. It doesn't matter if you can fight for 3 days and 3 nights, but you are still dragged to death by 10,000 Iwagakure. And precisely at the root of Shimura Danzo's hand, there is this power of overwhelming numbers, and it is more elite than the 10,000 rock ninjas. This is also the confidence that Shimura Danzo chose to stand by and watch many times when Konoha was attacked. He is confident that as long as he leads many rude ninjas, no matter how difficult the situation is, he can turn it around. Therefore, after making arrangements to receive the Sharingan, Shimura Danzo was confidently preparing to work with Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke to completely remove Uchiha from the ninja world. At the center of the passageway at the base of Konoha's roots, Uchiha Itachi stood quietly on the bridge facing the depths of the roots. Behind him were some bloody Uchiha clansmen. Uchiha Nanga also stood in the center of this group of clansmen, all with expressionless faces, waiting for someone to come in the dark with an expression on his face. Obviously, all the rude ninjas who were still fighting against them have been wiped out, but everyone knows that they are just some members of the peripheral defense. More elite rude ninjas are about to follow the one who forced their Uchiha clan to have to rise up. The darkness of the rebellious ninja world appeared together. Suddenly, the sound of a cane tapping the ground came from the silent darkness. Just as the sound got closer and closer, along with the sound of cracking through the air, figures wearing masks filled the hall instantly. Corner. They just stood there quietly without making any unnecessary movements, looking directly at the Uchiha tribesmen in front of them, like a group of dead corpses, which made the usually arrogant Uchiha tribesmen feel chills running down their spines, unconsciously. He tightened his grip on the weapon in his hand. Bang, tap, along with the crisp sound of the cane hitting the ground, the footsteps also stopped, revealing the owner of the sound. I saw that figure staying in the center of the masked crowd, covered in bandages, with only one eye exposed. It was the leader of the root group, Shimura Danzo. Uchiha Itachi, I believe you so much in vain. You actually dare to take the lead in rebelling against Konoha. Uchiha is indeed a naturally evil clan. I will not make the same mistake as Sarutobi. Once you come here, none of you can leave alive. After saying that, the cane in his hand paused, and the clear sound of the collision with the ground immediately reached the ears of many rude ninjas. Like a signal, many rude ninjas took action instantly and all attacked the Uchiha tribesmen. Just when Uchiha Nanga and the others arrived at the entrance of the root base, the Anbu who had previously received the order codename, Nighthawk, also rushed to the Hokage building. Seeing many family heads and Junin ninjas in a meeting, this Anbu did not dare to delay and explain directly. He came directly to the ears of the third Hokage and reported the information about the changes in the Uchiha clan. When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard the news, he felt as if he had shot himself in the foot. I originally wanted to use the reason of the attack on the Hokage building last night to summon all the major families and Junin to come and discuss it at this time when the Uchiha clan was being destroyed, so as to distance themselves from their relationship. When everything is settled, people in the village cannot condemn him. He, the unknowing Hokage who is discussing the attack on the Hokage building, will then deal with Uchiha's property and funeral affairs, and finally do something about the fire. With the speech of will, everything ended perfectly. As for why the Uchiha people were not invited to come together to discuss, nonsense, it is not that everyone does not know the relationship between the village and the Uchiha. The Hokage did this in order not to irritate the Uchiha for failing to manage the security of the village and causing a greater rift between the two. They were not invited. But I didn't expect that Shimura Danzo and Uchiha Itachi were so unreliable that they failed to successfully capture the Uchiha clan despite inviting foreign aid. They also caused things to go wrong, causing me, the Hokage, to be in trouble. After all, it would be unjustifiable for Uchiha to destroy his village in advance without a clear rebellion, and it would also be a huge threat to his reputation and prestige as the Hokage. Just when Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to suspend the meeting and go elsewhere with his two friends to discuss how to solve this matter, another Anbu came to the conference room. However, this Anbu was not as sensible as the previous Anbu who directly told so many ninjas the information. Lord Hokage, Uchiha Fugaku led the Uchiha clan to the root base. After investigation, we found that there are many killed root members and knocked unconscious Anbu members outside the Uchiha clan. This kind of thing is unavoidable. Anbu like this who are just on guard in the village have their own ideas and are not a group of Anbu who are die-hard Hokage. The destruction of Uchiha will naturally not be done openly, so those sent to the Uchiha clan must be die-hard Anbu who can keep their mouth shut. The other Anbu naturally do not know the reason for this matter, and the matter is too important. Sooner or later, the group in the office the big shots would know it, so they would just say it. Upon hearing the news, everyone in the office instantly became uproar. What is this Uchiha clan going to do? They openly attacked the Anbu and dared to continue attacking the roots. Could it be that they are trying to make a coup by force? Perhaps the Uchiha clan discovered something. After all, the Hokage building was attacked just now, and they are the security department protecting the village. They did not attend this meeting. Maybe they found something at a critical moment. That's not right. Then why did they attack the Anbu? And they only killed the root members, but spared the Anbu members. Advisor Danzo didn't come to the meeting, could it be? Fuck, stop talking. I didn't hear anything. Let's see what the Hokage says. For a moment, everyone who was still talking suddenly stopped. As ninjas, they all have the ability to see in all directions and hear in all directions. Suddenly hearing such explosive news, everyone looked at the speaker in shock. Sarutobi Hiruzen and other high-level officials also stared at the guy they just analyzed. The person who just analyzed was a little at a loss when he saw everyone looking at him. In fact, everyone knew about the matter between the high-level officials of Konoha and Uchiha, but no one was as brave as him to say it directly on this occasion. Seeing this, many ninjas thought of the Anbu who came in just now, and the ugly look on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face after hearing the news, and they all smelled something unusual. They no longer paid attention to this brave and cowardly guy, and all looked at him. What did the Hokage say? At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't sit still. He couldn't just say that because Uchiha wanted a military coup, we were ready to destroy the Uchiha clan in advance, and they attacked the Anbu after they counterattacked. In addition, as the Hokage, he naturally knows how many things Shimura Danzo has done. When paired with the Uchiha, if something terrible is leaked, they, the senior officials of Konoha, may directly lose the trust of the villagers. Since Uchiha did not kill his direct Anbu, it meant that they would not completely break up, and there might be a turning point. However, thinking of the major families and the many Junin present, Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately thought that he could use the presence of these people to prove Uchiha's crime of betraying the village, and attacked as a group to get rid of this hidden danger. So, he immediately stood up and said, "Let's go, everyone happens to be here, let's go and see what's going on at the security department." In the root base at this time, the root ninjas and the Uchiha tribe were already fighting fiercely. Faced with these root ninjas who acted uniformly and regardless of the cost, without the deliberate care of Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Nanga, these radical Uchi, it was quite difficult for the Bo people to fight. But now Uchiha Itachi was willing to take the lead and fight against Danzo Shimura. The surrounding ninjas who wanted to cooperate were also stopped by Uchiha Nanga. At this time, it is no longer the time to hone combat skills. A quick victory and a quick search for the benefits in Shimura Danzo's incriminating evidence will allow this operation to have a perfect ending. Therefore, Uchiha Nanhi no longer held back, and directly used his weird and unpredictable ability to transform reality into reality to massacre the root ninjas. The efficiency was no slower than that of the Uchiha tribesmen. On the other hand, Shimura Danzo, who fought against Uchiha Itachi, was at a disadvantage because Uchiha did not exterminate the clan and the Sharingan in his hand was limited, so he could not use the Sharingan as a resurrection coin like in the original work. I thought that my side had the numerical advantage and could cooperate with me to attack Uchiha Itachi. After eliminating this largest combat force, the other Uchiha would not be afraid. However, what surprised Danzo Shimura was that such a young genius appeared in the Uchiha. With his weird time and space ability, he could slaughter the basic ninjas without any pressure. When he received news that Uchiha Itachi led the Uchiha clan to attack the roots, Danzo Shimura had this concern, which could make Uchiha Itachi change his mind and have the confidence to directly confront his roots. Either the masked man Uchiha Madara changed his mind temporarily, or the masked man who attacked the root base in the Hokage building showed considerable strength, giving Uchiha Itachi the confidence to negotiate with Konoha head-on, and then he chose to betray agreement between them. But thinking about the fact that he has so many elite subordinates, and the narrow terrain of the root base is not suitable for large-scale ninjutsu use, this prevents the opponent from using the most powerful large-scale genjutsu instant kill and the legendary Susanoo. The winning rate on our side is still quite high. When Uchiha Nanga took action, Shimura Danzo knew the identity of the opponent and felt deeply that he had made a mistake. The difficulty of this person and the efficiency of the opponent in killing the root ninja were no less than a large-scale attack with ninjutsu. Facing the threat of 2 pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan, his mood couldn't help but become heavy. We must capture Uchiha Itachi as soon as possible so that we can have enough energy to deal with the remaining Mangekyo Sharingan. Once they join forces, I will be in danger, so I will use that technique. Shimura Danzo made up his mind and no longer hesitated. In order to ask Uchiha Itachi to sell his flaws, his own fighting style also became more open and closed. Sure enough, Uchiha Itachi relied on his rich combat experience and the powerful dynamic vision given by the Mangekyo Sharingan to catch Shimura Danzo's fleeting flaw and directly wipe the opponent's throat with a kunai. How is it possible? How could I fall in such a place? Shimura Danzo looked unable to accept it and staggered back a few steps. Seeing this, the surrounding root members were shocked for a moment. Regardless of casualties, they immediately abandoned their opponents and rushed to Shimura Danzo's place. He was firmly protected in the center of the crowd. At this time, Uchiha Itachi didn't think much. Seeing that he had killed the culprit of all darkness, he remained silent for a moment. However, due to the withdrawal of the root ninja, Uchiha Nanga, who had nothing to do, looked at everything in front of him with amusement. This old boy really pretends to be like that. Regarding Shimura Danzo's usual tricks, Uchiha Nanga naturally knew that whether he was facing Uchiha Shisui or Uchiha Sasuke, he had used this trick of using Izanagi to make the opponent relax and then sneak attack. While joking in his heart, he kept his face calm and moved silently, staying behind Uchiha Itachi where he was most vulnerable to a sneak attack, preparing to ambush and end the battle quickly. Sure enough, when the root ninja completely surrounded Shimura Danzo, blocking both sides' vision, Shimura Danzo's figure suddenly appeared behind Uchiha Itachi, and the kunai in his hand stabbed Uchiha Itachi without any hesitation, the back of the head. Thinking that he was about to harvest a pair of precious Mangekyo Sharingan, Danzo Shimura's eyes also burst out with extreme greed. Soon enough, Uchiha Nanga, who had been prepared for a long time, also shot forward in an instant, and hit Danzo Shimura hard on the back of the head with his fist that had been packed. At the same time, the power of virtuality and reality directly enveloped the opponent, suppressing the Izanagi that the opponent intended to use. In an instant, the back of Danzo Shimura's head collapsed with a punch filled with chakra from Minami Uchiha, and his entire body also drew a long bloody mark on the ground with the force. When Uchiha Itachi heard the movement behind him, the hairs all over his body stood up, and he jumped away quickly. He turned around and saw Uchiha Minga knocking Danzo Shimura away. While he was happy in his heart, he was also a little annoyed that he had forgotten what Uchiha Minga had told him. He, the reason why Shisui was attacked by surprise, accidentally fell into the same trick. Uchiha Minagawa did not dare to delay at all. Before the root ninja could arrive, he immediately caught up with Danzo Shimura who was flying upside down on the ground. He dug out Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan from his eyes and also killed him. Broken his bandaged arm. Just when Shimura Danzo was about to be killed, the surrounding root ninjas had already attacked, and Uchiha Nanga had to deal with the surrounding root ninjas first. Seeing the change in the situation, the Uchiha tribesmen who had not yet reacted, saw the actions of the root ninja and reflexively started to fight back. Uchiha Itachi was not idle either. At this time, he no longer needed to let these radical tribesmen recognize him and immediately joined the battle. When Uchiha Nanga and Uchiha Itachi joined at the same time, the so-called battle had turned into a one-sided massacre, but these root ninjas showed no fear at all. The scene did not become quiet until all the root ninjas were killed. At this moment, in the quiet root base, a hoarse scream suddenly came, and Shimura Danzo, who had been lying on the ground, also woke up in pain at this time. Haha, as expected of the person who transplanted Hashirama's cells. Under such an attack, he was still able to survive and did not die immediately. Uchiha Nanga came to the still groaning Shimura Danzo with a smile on his face, and the surrounding Uchiha tribesmen also gathered around to watch the final end of Konoha's biggest black hand. I was hit hard on the back of my head, it's just a flashback, I can't survive anymore. Itachi Uchiha stepped forward to check and made a judgment. This sound also shocked Shimura Danzo, who was still wailing, to wake up. He looked at the surrounding Uchiha tribesmen and the root corpses on the ground with a sad smile on his face. Haha, what a naturally evil Uchiha clan, who is so capable of killing his fellow villagers. I never thought that I would die at the hands of rebellious people like you. However, right here, for the stability of Konoha and the peace of the ninja world, you can be buried with me. Quote. After saying that, Danzo Shimura had a ferocious look on his face, but a while passed and nothing happened. Suddenly, Danzo Shimura's face became frightened, and he shouted tremblingly. How is it possible? Where is my seal of 4 elephants? As soon as he exhaled, he immediately reacted and pointed a trembling finger at Uchiha Minami. It's you, it must be you, who broke my Izanagi, and also broke my 4-dimensional seal without me noticing. No, it's impossible. You can't break the seals of Izanagi and Riseishyang in such a short period of time. There must be some conspiracy in this. Did you leave traces on as senior officials early in the morning? What kind of secret hand? What an evil Uchiha, I can't die yet. Once I die, no one can expose your sinister methods. Konoha must not fall into the hands of you evil Uchiha. I am the hope of Konoha. Quote. I don't know where he got the strength from. After saying this, Shimura Danzo turned over and climbed up toward the root exit, mumbling as he climbed. But just as he was working hard to get closer to the exit of the hall, a pair of ninja gear came into his gleaming eyes. In an instant, Shimura Danzo seemed to have lost all his life, and collapsed to the ground helplessly. The owner of these feet was Uchiha Minami. At this moment, Uchiha Minami squatted down, with a pair of scarlet Mangekyo Sharingan eyes, looking directly at Shimura Danzo with dim eyes, and whispered softly, said. Our dear Danzo advisor, you have to understand the fact that no matter how useful Izanagi is, he is the ultimate illusion that belongs to our Uchiha clan. You hope to use Izanagi in front of Uchiha. Come back, don't you think it's too whimsical? Also, Konoha is not your Konoha, nor is it Hokage's Konoha. Konoha is everyone's Konoha. Not only us Uchiha people can be Hokage, but others can also be Hokage. I just can't let you be Hokage. Look at how lonely Konoha has become since you senior executives took over. You keep saying it's for Konoha, but is Konoha getting stronger and stronger in your hands? The fact is that you have persecuted the pillars of Konoha one after another and sent the future of Konoha to the battlefield, while you, a group of high-level officials sitting on a high level in the village, enjoying their efforts as a matter of course. Quote. These words completely stimulated Shimura Danzo's desperate heart for the position of Hokage, and he defended himself hoarsely. Everything I have done is for Konoha. As long as I take the position of Hokage, I will definitely make Konoha great. How can you evil Uchiha understand my painstaking efforts? When the surrounding Uchiha heard Danzo Shimura keep saying, Uchiha are born evil, they all cursed angrily. Uchiha Itachi also had an ugly face, and he couldn't help but dared not face his former self. He actually went to I believe that such a selfish person almost massacred his own people because of his promise. Uchiha Nanga would not just scold him like these tribesmen, he would directly question Shimura Danzo about what he had done, not only to completely destroy his body, but also to destroy his faith. To be completely shattered. A Uchiha who is born evil. Then, Advisor Danzo, what evil thing have our Uchiha done that makes you so disgusted? Is it evil that you desecrated the corpse of the first Hokage? Is it evil that you deceived the Senju clan into doing human experiments? Is it evil? Is it evil for you and Orochimaru to conduct human experiments on children, civilians and ninjas in the village? Is it evil for you to spread rumors and seriously injure Konoha White Fang and the 4th-generation orphan? Or is it more evil to exclude the Sannin and attack people and things they care about? Compared with these evils, where is the evil of Uchiha? Or don't you think it's something evil? If it were someone else who did these things, how would you treat that person? Quote. These crimes were listed one after another from Uchiha Nanga's mouth. Not only the Uchiha tribesmen present showed disbelief at Shimura Danzo's evil. Even Shimura Danzo, who collapsed on the ground with a look on his face that he was the light of the ninja world, was a little in disbelief and wondered whether he had done all this. Just thinking about it briefly, I suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. What the Uchiha boy in front of me said was all the evil things he had done over the years. In fact, there are more things he has not mentioned, such as joining forces with Sancho Hanzo to kill the Akatsuki organization that maintains peace, killing the loyal Konoha pharmacists Nonoyu and Yakushi Kabuto, and so on. Countless. Unknowingly, after so many years, Danzo Shimura found that he had done so many outrageous things for the sake of becoming the Hokage. No, everything is for Konoha. Their sacrifices are all worth it. As long as I become Hokage, these are nothing. I will lead Konoha to destroy other ninja villages and dominate the ninja world. Danzo Shimura's logic was self-consistent in an instant, and he was freed from the charges that Uchiha Minagawa had fabricated for him, with a look of righteousness on his face. At this moment, everyone present was stunned. He could still argue like this. The most speechless thing was that he probably really thought so. Faced with such Shimura Danzo, everyone was speechless for a moment. After the previous battles, the surviving Uchiha people all realized how good they were before. They never expected that there would be another one here. Uchiha people. You can never wake up a person who is pretending to sleep, and everyone has nothing to do with such a person, so they can only look at Uchiha Nanga who is holding his forehead. Uchiha Nanhi was also a little helpless, so he could only tentatively say, "But, you are going to die now. You will never be Hokage. Then those people you killed will become your fault." These heartbreaking words instantly made Danzo Shimura, who was still moved by himself, freeze up. His eyes were red and he glared at all the Uchiha angrily. "It's all you, why don't you die honestly? It's you evil Uchiha who ruined the future of Konoha and the future of the ninja world, I." Before he could finish speaking, Danzo Shimura couldn't take a breath and died. Many Uchiha tribesmen present looked at Uchiha Nanga with admiration. It was unbelievable that he could anger such a person who was completely immersed in his own world to death. Danzo Shimura's death can be described as very cowardly. If he didn't use Izanagi and cooperated with many root ninjas, he would still have a chance to escape. But when he used it in front of Uchiha Nanga, a person whose kaleidoscope eye technique was the perfect complement of Izanagi and Izanami, he would naturally be suppressed to death. Just like Uchiha Obito's twin divine powers, they can only open and close their own divine power space. Even Kakashi's Mangekyo Sharingan can only open and close his own divine power space on the enemy. But after the two eyes complement each other, other spaces can be opened to jump in Kagaya Otsutsuki's sky. After Uchiha Nanga's Mangekyo Sharingan is integrated into one, in the same way, it can also suppress this ninjutsu that relies on Izanagi to reset itself, so Shimura Danzo will naturally not be able to do well. As for the four-dimensional seal engraved on his body, Uchiha Nanhi, a person who has read the original work of Naruto, will of course be wary. When Uchiha Nanhi uses the pupil power transformed from virtual reality to suppress the opponent's Izanagi, and quietly erased part of the seal lines, which naturally made the Lizaxiang seal on his body ineffective. Seeing a group of Uchiha people around him looking at him, Uchiha Nanhi still felt a little uncomfortable. After all, this kind of killing and heart-wrenching behavior was still a bit disgraceful. However, this is not the time to celebrate victory. The third Hokage may arrive at any time. There are still many good things in this root base. For example, those basic ninjutsu knowledge. After obtaining the Book of Sealing, Uchiha Nanga discovered that many ninjutsu require extremely rich basic knowledge as a backing in order to practice successfully. Just like the Flying Thunder God technique, it is very necessary to have a high attainment in the sealing technique in order to practice to a higher level. For example, when the fourth Hokage transferred the tailed beast Jade to the Flying Thunder God Guiding Thunder, he clearly used the sealing technique. When Uchiha Nanga arrived last time, his main purpose was to provoke Hashirama cells and stir up discord between Uchiha Obito and Konoha, so he didn't have time to collect these basic things. Now is the time. Not only must these precious basic knowledge be taken away, but also the belongings in the roots need to be taken away, and cannot be left to the third Hokage and his Sarutobi clan. Therefore, Uchiha Nanhi ordered the surrounding Uchiha people. Leave the seriously injured tribesmen to treat each other's injured parts, and collect the corpses of the tribesmen who died in the battle. The other tribesmen who are still capable of fighting will follow Weasel and I each to lead a team to search the entire root base and take away all valuable things. Come on, there should be no shortage of seal scrolls in this base. There should be some root members inside, who will kill everyone they meet. Even if they are not involved in evil things outside, they must have done evil things such as human experiments. They are all a group of people with no moral bottom line, so no need to hold back. Focus on collecting evidence of Shimura Danzo's crimes and basic information on various ninjutsu. Quote. After explaining what they should focus on collecting, they immediately led some tribesmen deeper into the base. When Uchiha Nanga and the others killed Shimura Danzo and were searching for supplies at the root base, a group of Konoha ninjas led by Sarutobi Hiruzen finally arrived at the entrance to the root base and saw Uchiha Fugaku guarding here. Stop, Chief Fugaku, please. Uchiha tribesmen immediately stop invading the Anbu training base. No matter what happens, you have no right to directly break into the Anbu training base. This is an important and confidential place for the village. Sarutobi Hiruzen took the lead. When he saw Uchiha Fugaku from a distance, he loudly stated that he intended to deter Uchiha from his crazy behavior and secretly accuse the Uchiha clan. After all, since the second Hokage formed the Anbu, it has been the center of power directly under the Hokage and cannot be allowed to be interfered with by others. The Anbu still belongs to the training department of the Anbu, so Uchiha's actions are naturally beyond his authority. As soon as he finished speaking, Sarutobi Hiruzen used a teleportation technique and instantly appeared not far from Uchiha Fugaku. Following closely behind him, Kaharu and Mito Kaden, who had moved to another dormitory, also scolded arrogantly. Uchiha clan, what are you doing? You dare to attack the Anbu directly under the Hokage. Do you want to rebel against the village? Hearing that these Konoha senior officials were the first to cover up such a crime, Uchiha Fugaku's face also showed a hint of solemnity, but when he thought of Uchiha Minga's words, it changed into a look of righteousness. Haha, rebelling against the village. What a big hat. Konoha village was founded by our Uchiha clan and the Senju clan, together with many other clans. To rebel against the village. Why don't you say you are rebellious? Quote. As soon as the retort came out, Uchiha Fugaku directly opened his Mangekyo Sharingan. Powerful chakra and pupil power exploded, and stared at the evil woman who was sleeping with Kaharu, who was uttering arrogant words. The surrounding Uchiha clan members also came behind the clan leader in an instant, opened their Sharingan eyes and looked directly at Sarutobi Hiruzen and his party. Faced with the death gaze of so many pairs of Sharingan, including a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan, Kaharu was unsurprisingly cowed when he went to bed, and silently retreated behind Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Hokage. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't care about anything else. His eyes were fixed on Uchiha Fugaku's Mangekyo Sharingan, and the anger he felt along the way was instantly extinguished. Uchiha Fugaku is too stubborn. When did he activate the Mangekyo Sharingan? Coupled with Uchiha Itachi, who has basically turned against him, and the masked man who attacked the Roots and Hokage building, Uchiha now has 3 pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan at the same time. How can I, the Hokage, encourage other ninjas to destroy your clan? Isn't this embarrassing an old man like me? Quote. After understanding the current situation, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt powerless and had no choice but to give in. He turned around and glared at Kaharu, who was unable to see the situation clearly, and his tone completely softened. Chief Fugaku, is there any misunderstanding between the Uchiha clan and Assistant Danzo? Why did you lead people to surround the base he was responsible for? If you have any questions, you can come to me, the Hokage, for consultation. After all, the Anbu training base is still directly under the Hokage. Isn't it a good idea for you to directly bring people here to kill you? You will only escalate the conflict. If your security department finds any clues, you can report it directly to me, the direct leader, and I will definitely give the village a satisfactory explanation. Quote. Seeing Hiruzen Sarutobi's attitude of giving him a step up, Uchiha Fugaku had to admit that he had been too weak before, and blindly giving in could not change Hiruzen Sarutobi's attitude at this time. On the contrary, Uchiha Nanga's statement is correct. Only by seeking peace through struggle can peace truly come. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.